So hey guys, welcome back to the Anime What Ifs channel. This is a story about what if Naruto abandoned in Yamato and learns to release wood. Part 1. If you guys enjoy this what if, and you want to see part 2, comment down below. And let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content. And leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also share this video with your friends. And check out the description. And check out my playlist. So let's start the video. Chapter 1, Loss of Sight. Hiruzen let out a shaking breath before the doctor. Could you please repeat that? Dr. Ishida gave him a sympathetic look. I'm sorry, Hokage-sama, but I'm afraid that Naruto-kun's lost his ability to see. Sandaime clenched his fists, trying to contain his rage at the person responsible for the boy's blindness. The matron at the orphanage had gone too far. She poured some chemicals into his eyes and the other staff had held her down, and one of them brought Naruto to the hospital late at night to inform Ishida-sensei of what happened. The man had taken Naruto from the staff member of the orphanage and taken him to get his eyes taken care of. As for the woman, she was executed without mercy, and the other staff members didn't shed any tears or stuck up for her actions because they accepted the boy for who he was instead of abusing him. Hell, they even protected him from her when October 10th arrived, making the boy 5 years old this year. And now, the boy has lost his ability to see, and it was probably permanent. Is it permanent? I'm afraid so, yes. Ishida was barely able to contain his own rage. The boy was always coming here because of injuries given to him by the worthless villagers, in his opinion. He had grown very fond of the boy, as did the nurses, because they didn't see a monster, they saw an innocent child that was being abused by human ignorance. Before they could continue the conversation, the door opened, and in came the very same boy they were talking about. Naruto Uzumaki, who had bandages covering his eyes. Ishida-sensei, Hokage-jiji. Both men blinked. How in the world did he get here? They were on the other side of the hospital. Did he walk here all by himself, or did he have help? Naruto, how did you get here? Hiruzen asked, moving towards the boy bending down before him. I don't know, Naruto answered softly. I just felt that you were here with Ishida-sensei. The men looked at each other, and Ishida walked over to Naruto himself. Why don't you sit over there in the chair so I can examine your eyes? Okay, Naruto said. Hiruzen looked over at the doctor in confusion, but the man simply mouthed a trust me and let the boy walk over towards the chair on his own. Naruto walked around Sarutobi and towards the chair, much to their surprise, and sat down almost as if he could see where he was going. Ishida unwrapped the bandages from his eyes and saw the boy open his eyes, and they were sky blue, but if you look closely you can see that he was still blind. Ishida decided to ask the boy very carefully, Naruto-kun, I'm going to stay blind, aren't I? Naruto cut him off. Their eyes widened at the question, taken completely by surprise again. How did he do it? Naruto, who told you that you were blind? Sarutobi asked carefully. They did. Naruto blinked. Ishida and Sarutobi looked at each other, then back at the boy. They who? Could it have been the nurses? Naruto shook his head and got up from the seat and towards the window, almost as though he knew where it was. Lifting his hand towards the window slowly, he clicked it and opened it slowly before turning towards them. The trees. They told me. Before they could say anything, they noticed one of the trees started moving, taking them by surprise, and were about to move over to the boy when a tree branch came through the window and towards Naruto, but the boy was completely still, not at all afraid of the moving branch. It inched towards his cheek, making him smile and rub it with affection. I'm okay, I think. In response to his sadness, the branch sprouted a yellow flower for him, making Naruto smile and take the flower from the branch. Thank you? The tree branch retracted from the window, leaving the two men completely baffled at what they had just witnessed. Naruto turned to them, still holding the flower in his hand. What's wrong? He could feel their shock. And Naruto-kun, just now that was... Ishida-sensei stuttered. You mean the tree? They've been doing that every time I go into the forest to be alone. Sometimes I feel them following me when I walk around too. It feels nice. Naruto smiled a little, still sad that he could no longer see. What do you mean? Sarutobi asked gently, wondering if what he was thinking could be possibly true. I don't know, but I think it's because I can do this. Naruto lifted his hand and out sprouted a pink flower. I don't know, but I can do this, and what's wrong? He heard a thud telling him that both men probably fell down. Sarutobi couldn't believe what he was seeing. How is this possible? Naruto has a Genkai, and not just any Genkai, the famous Mokuton, would release, that belonged to the Shodaime Hokage. Hashirama Senju. Wait. Now that he thought about it, it was possible actually, seeing as how the Uzumaki and Senju are blood-related by marriage. It's possible that at some point one of them, either the Senju or Uzumaki, would awaken the Mokuton, but that was just speculation. The old man walked over to the boy bending down to give him a smile. Naruto, You are a very special boy, do you understand? Special? Me? Naruto questioned. Yes, very special. I'm going to set you up an apartment so you can live on your own and get you your own sensei, and as soon as you get set up we'll begin your training. Sarutobi smiled. Naruto smiled then looked down. But I'm blind. Don't let that stop you. Ishida spoke up, having gotten over the initial shock. You've already proven you can handle yourself well despite your blindness being your only disability. You walked all the way over here by yourself without any help, walked over to the chair without tripping, and opened the window. That proves your blindness is nothing more than a crutch if you let it be. Naruto took all their words in and looked back up with a look of determination. I want to train. Sarutobi smiled. Excellent. Naruto settled into his new apartment. It was kind of strange that he was able to maneuver his way around the place despite being completely blind, but didn't comment on it, thinking that when people go blind they can still see, which is half true and half not. There was a knock on his door, making him walk towards it, having felt that the person on the other side wasn't a bad person and just like him. Someone who moves with the forest like him. Opening the door, he could feel the person staring at him with curiosity instead of hatred and malice, which he had unfortunately gotten used to. Hello? Naruto greeted me politely. Yamato straightened up as soon as the boy spoke. Hello Naruto. I'm your sensei here to train you, are you ready? Yes, sensei. Naruto smiled. Yamato couldn't help but smile to himself. Even though the boy had lost his sight at the hands of a horrid villager, he still managed to smile. It proved this boy wouldn't let anything get him down. Picking him up and putting him securely on his back, he set off towards the training area. Having stopped jumping from building to building, he landed near the third training ground where the Sandaime told him to. Placing Naruto down on the ground slowly and standing before him. As soon as he placed the boy down, Yamato noticed that the trees around him started to move as though they were happy to see the blonde-haired boy. How strange. Clearing his throat, Yamato looked at the boy who stood there patiently waiting for his sensei to say something. Okay, before we begin, allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Yamato. Naruto smiled. Yamato-sensei, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Pleased to meet you. Now then, let's begin, shall we? Naruto nodded. Sarutobi was watching the boy through his glass ball, eager to see what they would be doing, while at the same time wondering how Naruto was able to perceive his surroundings despite being blind. There was the hospital, and then there was the moving into his new apartment building. He moved around at a normal pace, almost as though he could actually see, but Ishida stated himself that Naruto is completely blind, meaning he couldn't see. So the only explanation was that instead of seeing them, he was probably sensing the things around him, which would make the boy a Kanchi Taipu, sensor type, but he had never seen a sensor ability like this. It was really impressive. To be perfectly honest, the boy was better off blind because now he won't have to see the villagers scorn, but then again it will probably be easier for the villagers because Naruto's blind now, and they might even try to attack him directly. Just thinking about it worried him, especially since his birthday is coming up very soon. Putting the orb away, he looked out the window, wondering how the village could become the way it is now. He was afraid the will of fire was all but dead because the citizens of this village aren't exactly showing their will of fire, seeing as how they would do this to the boy instead of following Yandaime's wish. It was truly sad. Yamato was impressed so far with his student. They have been practicing chakra control for about an hour now, and the blonde-haired boy was able to use it perfectly despite his lack of sight. Not only that, when they did the tree and water walk exercise, he was able to do both with no problems at all. When he asked how he was able to do that, he simply smiled and turned to him. The forest around us is helping me, but I can also sense where the trees and water are because of the sounds they make. It was an unusual answer, but it made sense to the man anyway. With the chakra control exercise out the way, they focused on other things now, like trying to practice his Mokuton. The boy had no problems creating clones like he thought he would, seeing as how he has more chakra than the average Chunin and Jounin. Alright Naruto, you've proven that you have good chakra control, so we'll begin working on your Mokuton, seeing as how you're able to utilize it very easily. Yamato instructed. Okay Yamato-sensei. Naruto smiled, eager to use it. Yamato smiled at the boy's eagerness to learn. Now Mokuton is a nature-based Genkai. You know what a Genkai is, right? Naruto nodded. It's a bloodline. Correct. Now Mokuton is special because it originated from the Senju clan. He continued. You mean you and I are related to Shodaime? Naruto was surprised. Yamato rubbed the back of his head. In a way I am, but I definitely know you are related to the man. A distant relative, but relative all the same. That makes you a distant relative to Yamato-sensei, not just me. Naruto grinned. Yamato's eyes grew wide before a small smile formed on his lips. Thank you for saying that, Naruto. It means a lot to me to hear you say that. You're welcome. So what are we learning? Naruto wondered. Well, for starters, I want to teach you the Mokubunshin no Jutsu, wood style, wood clone jutsu. Yamato smiled. Sounds pretty cool. It is, not to mention it comes in handy too. Yamato then realized something, making Naruto smile. It's okay, the trees around me will give me the information I need to use the technique, or any technique that involves hand seals, so it's okay. He grinned. Yamato wondered how that worked, but then again he didn't question it. Alright, but just in case I'll say the hand seals out loud for you, okay? Naruto nodded. Yamato got started. Tiger Dog Snake, Moku Bunshin no Jutsu, Wood Style, Wood Clone Jutsu. Yamato created a wood clone that sprouted from his body and stood next to him smiling. It's your turn now, Naruto. Did you get all that? The boy smiled as a response and performed the hand seals. Tiger Dog Snake, Moku Bunshin no Jutsu, Wood Style, Wood Clone Jutsu. Clapping his hands together, 5 wood clones sprouted from his body. 2 sprouted from his right side, 2 from his left, and 1 from behind. All 5 clones smiled at Yamato and his clone, making the man's jaw drop while the clone was impressed. That's incredible. He was able to make 5 clones on his first try. Granted, when I first started I could only make 2, but he made 5 out of nowhere just like that and doesn't look tired at all. Impressive, Yamato thought. It was then he noticed something from each clone, and Naruto. Yes? The boy tilted his head. Why your clones? They're not blind. They can see. Yamato stuttered. Really? Is that true, you guys, can you see? Naruto wondered. The clones dispelled themselves with a smile and transferred the memories over to their original, making him smile from ear to ear. It's true. They can really see. I can see their memories. So that's what you look like, Yamato-sensei. Yamato smiled. This just made your training a whole lot easier. That means your shadow clones won't have a problem seeing either. Naruto grinned. Yeah. Oh, there's this one technique the forest taught me when I snuck out of the orphanage that one time. What technique did they teach you? Yamato asked curiously. Naruto moved away from the man, making him raise a brow. As soon as the boy was close to the 3 wooden stakes, he smiled and performed the hand seals. Tiger Snake, Mokutan Hijitsu, Jukai Koten, would release secret technique, nativity of a world of trees. Bringing his hands together, multiple trees sprouted from the ground, taking Yamato off guard. As soon as they stopped growing, his jaw dropped for what felt like the second time today. There were a lot of trees surrounding him and Naruto, with the boy sitting on top of the tree branch with a smile. See? Pretty cool, isn't it? Yamato couldn't help but stare in awe at what he just witnessed. Naruto, that technique you just used. The only one to use it was the Shodaime Hokage Hashirama Senju. It was a secret technique that only he could use. Really? Naruto tilted his head. The forest didn't tell me that, they only said that a great man used this technique before. They taught me this as a birthday present. The forest? Is he really saying that the forest of Konoha is actually alive and is speaking to him even now? It's never happened to him before, but if what he's saying is true, then what else is the forest telling him? Yamato wondered. Are you surprised? Naruto tilted his head with a grin. Yamato returned it. You could say that. So, how did it go? Hiruzen questioned. To be honest with you, he only needs me to help him with the Mokuton. We started chakra control first, and despite the massive chakra reserve given to him by the Kyuubi, he was able to mold his chakra perfectly with no problems at all. Yamato reported. Really now? What else? Yamato took a deep breath. Hokage-sama, are you sure that Naruto's blind? That wasn't what he was expecting to hear from the man. Last time I checked Tenzo, the boy was completely blind, but he was able to find me and Ishida-sensei in a different room in the hospital just by feeling where we were. Hiruzen told him. Yamato brought his finger up to his chin. Then there's a possibility that he's a sensor. He must have sensed your chakra signature and simply followed it. He walks completely normal, as though he's not even blind at all. I noticed that as well. He also mentioned that the trees tell him where to go and who's ahead of him, even though he can see himself using his senses as his guide as well as his hearing. Hiruzen informed me. He said the same thing, Yamato said. He used one of the Shodaime's secret techniques all on his own, saying the forest taught him and didn't even look tired. Oh? What technique was that? Hiruzen inquired about smoking his pipe. Mokuton Hijitsu, Jukai Koten, would release secret technique, nativity of a world of trees. Yamato told him to make the man cough, roughly prompting Yamato to go over and pat the old man's back. Hiruzen gathered himself and looked at the man. Are you sure of this? Yamato nodded. I was right there when he did it. He said the forest taught him that as a birthday present. Hiruzen was in no question doubting that statement, seeing as how Shodaime created the very same forest himself when he first established this village a long time ago. It's possible that his very will still lives on in the village itself, taking the form of the very forest around them. Also, he may be blind, but his clones certainly aren't. Yamato said. What? That took Hiruzen off guard. Yes, while the normal clone copies the blindness, the shadow clones, as well as the wood clones, don't show any signs of blindness at all. They can see. he said. I've never heard of such a thing happening with shadow clones before. Very interesting. The old man said. I agree. Where's the boy now? He's currently at Ichiraku's with my wood clone watching over him. I saw the hateful looks the villagers were giving him, but even worse so. Now that they know he's blind, some of them openly said horrible things to him, but he plainly ignored them and talked to me instead, almost as though they didn't exist. Yamato scowled. I see. Hiruzen frowned. Yamato then smiled. He's a strong boy. It seems that him being blind has allowed him to gain confidence. I see, that's good. Hiruzen smiled. Yamato still smiled. My clone dropped Naruto off. He's okay now. Hiruzen sighed with relief. That's good news. Yamato couldn't agree more with the old man. When they were walking back, the same villagers tried to taunt him, but once again he blatantly ignored them and talked to his clone instead, telling him how much fun he had learning new Mokuton techniques. He also saw his clone give a side glance to the villagers' face and saw they were red with anger and openly called him a demon brat, but once again Naruto ignored them. Yamato had to wonder though, did he know about the Kyuubi? Is that all? Hiruzen questioned. Yes, that's all I have to report on Hokage-sama. Yamato bowed. Very well, you may leave. Yes. And like that, Yamato was gone. Hiruzen couldn't help but wonder about Naruto though. How long had he been able to use Mokuton? He'd never once thought about it until now. Naruto was in his room in his new apartment with an open window, and the forest told him they'd be giving him a gift today. It was a scroll about Suiton, water release, techniques, and he couldn't be more excited. The forest told him that tomorrow they'd teach him how to utilize water techniques because they'd secretly done the chakra paper thing already, and he was told to keep it a secret. So he did. He was brought out of his thoughts when he saw a vine bring a scroll to him, making his eyes gleam and take it gratefully. Thank you. He smiled. He left, and he closed the window. Tomorrow will be fun. Chapter 2, Lavender Eyes. Naruto woke up early and had breakfast before heading out to the forest to train his new Suiton techniques. He jumped from the roof of buildings to get to the forest, not caring that it was dangerous, but he knew where to go anyway, so it didn't matter. Having jumped off the last building, he headed off right into the forest, into one of the more secluded areas where no one will find him or bother him. Good morning, Naruto said to the forest. He heard the trees rustle, meaning they were saying good morning to him as well. Naruto decided to get right to business using the Shadow Clone Hand Seal, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Shadow Clone Jutsu. He created a shadow clone that smiled at him. Naruto handed the scroll over to the clone. I need you to read this and perform the hand seals. When you're down with that, dispel yourself and send me the information, okay? The clone took the scroll and nodded. You got it, boss. The clone went off further into the forest while Naruto decided to sit down lotus style and meditate so he could talk with his friend. Mindscape. Naruto had arrived in his inner mind so he could see his friend, the Kyuubi. Now, when he first found out he had the giant beast inside him, he was honestly fascinated with the creature and started talking to him, much to the beast's confusion, but they ended up talking for what felt like hours before the boy had to go, but he always came back to speak with him inside his mind because it's lonely by yourself. Already knowing where he needed to go, he found the giant beast looking bored. Kyuubi, Naruto called out, walking up to it, getting its attention. Look who's here. Haven't seen you in a while. Got bored of me already? Kyuubi snickered. No way. You're always fun to talk to, a lot more than the villagers. They annoy me. Naruto huffed, crossing his arms. You and me both. Kyuubi then noticed something and leaned closer to the boy and saw the state his eyes were in. What the hell happened to your eyes? Naruto shook the back of his head. Well. You see, the scary lady at the orphanage poured some stuff in my eyes that really burned. When I woke up, I was told by the trees that I was permanently blind. Kyuubi was pissed. He already hated the village for sealing him, but to do this to his container was just despicable. He growled menacingly, wanting to kill the woman, but a hand was placed on his snout, making him look down at the boy who was smiling. It's okay, the mean lady was killed by Gigi. And besides, I don't need my eyes to feel the gentle breeze, hear the sounds of the rustling trees, or walk wherever I want. The trees do that for me, or I do it on my own, plus I can still fight even though I'm blind. I won't let this by crutch. I promise. Kyuubi looked down at the boy with a newfound respect for the first time. His previous hosts, Mito and Kushina, earned his respect in some ways, but this boy, Naruto, was something else. You're something special, Kit. Kyuubi smirked. Naruto grinned. Yep. Oh, I know how to make a better landscape so you can be more comfortable. You wanna see? Kyuubi raised a brow but gave into curiosity. Show me what you've got. Naruto grinned and brought his hands together, concentrating. Mokuton, Seiichimori, wood release, sacred forest. The surroundings started to change as trees began to sprout from the mindscape, erasing the water below them and the walls overall, changing the scene altogether. When it was done, The QB realized he was no longer in the cage and instead inside a giant shrine with fox symbols painted all over the walls. Looking outside, he saw that it was actually sunny out, and there were giant trees everywhere as though protecting the fox. What? QB stared. Naruto yawned sleepy from using the "Do you like it?" I made it myself, but it was really hard. QB may not have liked the Mokutan, but the kid uses it so well and efficiently that it was simply amazing. I'll admit, this is much better than your previous mindscape. It is. Naruto smiled. QB stared at the boy for a long time, then smirked. For making your mindscape less insufferable, I'll tell you my true name. Naruto smiled, eager to hear it. My true name is. Naruto opened his eyes with a smile on his face. Kurama. He felt his clone's memories come to him in waves, making him smile. He stood up and tried out the first Mizu Bunshin no Jutsu, water clone jutsu. A clone made of water materialized next to Naruto, making him smile from ear to ear. Looks like it worked. The feedback you get from the shadow clones is amazing. Naruto smiled, then dispelled the clone. Okay, now let's try something else. Elsewhere, some villagers saw Naruto enter the forest, and made their way over there to kill him once and for all. There were a total of 10 villagers that were walking through the forest unaware that the trees started moving on their own. They took no notice and made their way through the forest wanting to kill the demon. Since the boy's blind, they believed that killing him would be easy since he couldn't see. But they made a great error. While it's true he couldn't see them, he could sense them. Naruto was too busy trying to practice a lot to take notice of the villagers sneaking up on him from behind. There it is. A male villager glared. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's kill it already. I couldn't agree more. They moved from their spot with their weapons in hand, slowly coming up from behind him, unaware of what the boy was doing, and that proved to be their downfall. Naruto closed his eyes. The clone was able to do this, but it only came out small when it tried it. So let's try it again then. I just wish it didn't have so much hand signs, but oh well. He performed the seals: ox, monkey, hare, rat, boar, bird, ox, horse, bird, rat, tiger, dog, tiger, snake, ox, ram, snake, boar, ram, rat, monkey, bird, dragon, bird, ox, horse, ram, tiger, snake, rat, monkey, hare, boar, dragon, ram, rat, ox, monkey, bird, yang, water, rat, boar, bird. Suiton, Suryudan no Jutsu, water style, water dragon jutsu. A giant water dragon sprung up from the ground and roared its mighty head, making the villagers stop cold turkey. What? What is that? The water dragon glared down at the villagers before shooting towards them, engulfing them and sending the fools far away from the boy and into the dark parts of the forest. Naruto opened his eyes to see water on the ground and smiled. Alright, it worked. He then looked around. I thought I heard voices earlier. Did I imagine it? The water dragon brought the villagers gathered here to kill Naruto to the dark place of the forest, where it left them on their own before vanishing. Before the stupid men could do anything, one of them screamed and disappeared, making the others frightened. Looking around, they saw no one, but that didn't mean they were being watched. Before they knew, 2 more of them disappeared, then another guy, making them scared, and they should be. You never mess with the forest of Konoha. Naruto simply practiced, unaware of the begging carnage of the foolish male villagers that tried to kill him just not too long ago. Okay, let's try the other one, then I'll go and get lunch before coming back to get right back to it again. He performed another hand sign: tiger, snake, rat, snake, tiger, Suiton, Suijin hiki, water style, water wall. Taking a deep breath, he sprouted some water out of his mouth and formed a wall around him before cutting them off. Okay, I got them memorized to memory now. His stomach grumbled. Now I'm hungry. I'll head over to Ichiraka then. He walked out of the forest and spotted some buildings to jump from so he could head over to his favorite place, but something stopped him. Stopping on one of the buildings, he sensed a chakra signature that felt gentle and kind, yet very deadly when it wants to be surrounded by 3 individuals. Following the signature, he stopped when he spotted the figure, and it was indeed surrounded by 3 individuals that had bad intentions, something he was all too familiar with. Being mean to a girl is just wrong. He jumped down, getting their attention, making the 3 boys step back from the girl as she jumped in surprise when he landed in front of her. You shouldn't be mean to her just because you're bored. It's not nice. Huh? One of the boys smiled. Get lost, you loser. Yeah, you're nothing but some stupid orphan anyway. Naruto rolled his eyes. You're stupid. What did you say? I said. You're stupid. Naruto smiled. One of the boys charged at him, sending a punch, but due to the blonde boy's enhanced senses, he felt it coming, and ducked, then sent a hard punch to his gut, making him fall over and grip his stomach in pain. Naruto stood up and stared at him. Attacking a blind person isn't very smart. That's why I called you stupid earlier. He didn't wait to hear the replies of the other 2 because he made the shadow clone hand sign, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone jutsu. 2 clones appeared before the boys, and they had their sights so they could see them. The 2 clones attacked the other 2 boys, punching one hard in the face, while the other one kicked the other boy in the gut, making him hold his stomach in pain too. Naruto sighed and dispelled the two clones before turning to look at the silent girl. Are you okay? He felt her flinch when he turned to speak to her. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you? She bowed. Good. I don't like it when people bully others, it's not right. Naruto crossed his arms. I am Hinata Hyuga. What's your name? Hinata asked politely. Naruto Uzumaki. He smiled. Somehow Hinata felt herself smiling as well. Is it true that you're blind? Naruto nodded. Yeah, I'm blind, but I can still see where I'm going by listening and sensing. Listening and sensing? Hinata tilted her head in confusion. He nodded. I can hear the birds chirping clearly. I can hear people walking around, and I can sense where they are too. But for special people I can see and sense the blue aura around them, but Sensei corrected me and told me that it wasn't aura but chakra. I sensed yours, so that's why I came here. It's kind and gentle yet strong. Hinata blushed when he complimented her like that. No one else had ever complimented her, not even her father. Thank you, Naruto-kun. You're welcome, Hinata-chan. By the way, what color are your eyes? I bet they're really pretty. He smiled. She blushed even more when he complimented her eyes. Some people say it's lavender. Naruto blinked then smiled. I could see it. Oh wait, actually I can't, but I think I know that your eyes are the prettiest eyes in the whole village. If possible, she was redder now than she was ever before. It was official, she already had a crush on the boy. Naruto's stomach grumbled again. That's right, I'm still hungry. I'll see you around then, Hinata-chan. He jumped up on the side of the building before jumping from rooftop to rooftop, heading towards Ichiraka, leaving a blushing and smiling Hinata behind him. Yep. She already liked the boy. Naruto yawned as he headed towards his apartment after having a good meal at Ichiraka's again. As soon as he was done with lunch, he went back to the forest to train some more and was utterly exhausted, so he was trekking back to get some sleep. It was already night time anyway, so there was no point in staying any longer, even though he wasn't afraid to walk through the forest at night like some people. He was on his way home when he sensed Hinata's chakra running fast, but so fast that he couldn't keep up with himself. Sensing where she was heading, he followed after the signature and saw a suspicious individual carrying Hinata below his arm, making him mad. Mokuton, Shinobi Geishi, would release bamboo spikes. Thrusting his arm forward, bamboo spikes formed and slammed in the back of the kidnapper, making him cry out in pain and fall to the ground while dropping Hinata in the process, but Naruto was able to get to her in time before she could fall to the ground. Hinata opened her eyes finally and saw that Naruto was staring at her full of worry. You okay, Hinata-chan? She blushed. And Naruto-kun? Where am I? He set her down. You were being taken away by that bad guy. He turned and saw the guy was getting back up and glared. Hinata-chan, get back. But. She was about to protest. It's fine, I got this. He smiled. The man stood up slowly and charged at the boy, but Naruto wasn't worried. He quickly made the snake hand sign. Mokuton. Mokusatsu Shirbari no Jutsu. Wood style. Silent strangle jutsu. Tree wood sprouted from the ground and went towards the kidnapper, and the man found himself bound, unable to move. What? Hinata was amazed. Amazing. Naruto stared at the man, not at all happy. He tried to kidnap his friend. I don't know who you are, but you tried to kidnap Hinata-chan. So that means you're a bad person. He narrowed his eyes at the still bound man. I learned this move from the forest and haven't had time to use it yet, but I'll use it now. He formed the snake hand sign. Mokuton, Kajakai Korin, would release. Advent of a world of flowering trees. Trees started growing from the surface where they were, making the man stop struggling to see what was happening. As the forest around them was being created, flowers began to bloom and release pollen, making the man's eyes feel heavy, and he soon drifted into unconsciousness. Naruto sighed and released him when the man passed out. Naruto-kun was amazing. How did you do that? Hinata asked in awe. Before the blonde could tell her, he passed out himself due to exhaustion. Naruto-kun. She went over to him trying to wake him up, but stopped when she realized he was only sleeping and smiled. Thank you. No longer after she said that, her father appeared as well as the Hyuga guards. She wondered how long they had been here, or maybe they just got here. No, something told her that they were here the whole time and saw what Naruto did to save her. Was that a good thing? Or a bad thing? Naruto opened his eyes slowly, sitting up from the futon he was laying on, and yawned while stretching. Looking around, he saw he was surrounded by fancy-looking walls. Even his clothes were fancy because he was wearing an elegant hakama. He tried to remember just what he did to get himself in this predicament, then remembered. He saved Hinata from a kidnapper, then he knocked him out, then he passed out himself. He was really tired. The sliding door opened, alerting him. Uzumaki-sama, Hayashi-sama requested your presence in his office. It was a member of the Hyuga branch house, he could tell. Naruto found himself nodding. Okay. He got up from the futon and neatly made the blanket before following after the branch member that was taking him to meet Hayashi. He heard about the man before from Gigi. He said that the man was really SDSD stoic, that's the word, so he had to behave himself just like Yamato-sensei said, manners are always important. He stopped walking when the bodyguard did. The guard knocked. Hayashi-sama, I've brought Uzumaki-sama, send him in. A voice on the other side ordered. The guard opened the door, allowing Naruto to walk inside, and stared at the tall man before him. Naruto bowed his head in respect, and Hayashi did the same to the boy as he watched him sit before him in his office. Naruto, first allow me to thank you for saving my daughter last night. Hayashi actually smiled. Naruto bowed his head a little. It's fine. I'm just glad Hinata-chan is alright. As am I. You did a very brave thing yesterday, but it was also dangerous. You passed out right after that man did. He frowned. Naruto smiled nervously. Well, actually, I've been practicing Suiton all day yesterday while training and felt really exhausted, so I was on my way home to get some sleep. Suiton? Then what was that you used last night? Hayashi asked curiously. Mokuton. I've been able to do it for a while now and just started to practice. Naruto explained. Hayashi's eyes widened. So I was right. That was the famous Shodame's Mokuton he used yesterday. There was something else he wanted to ask. Naruto, if you don't mind me asking. You're completely blind, aren't you? Naruto nodded. Yep. I don't need my eyes to see or feel things when I can either sense or hear them. I'm able to see a person's chakra or sense it. That's how I was able to sense Hinata nearby when she was being kidnapped yesterday. I can also feel the vibrations in the earth too, like those 3 jerks that were trying to bully her yesterday. I felt one of them send a punch my way, but I was able to detect and counter it. So he can read a person's movements simply by feeling vibrations in the ground? I've never heard of such a thing before. Hayashi was intrigued now. So you saved my daughter twice yesterday then, thank you. There's no need to thank me, Hayashi-san. I should be thanking you for even letting me stay here. I didn't mean to intrude. Naruto said honestly. You don't have to apologize. After what you did yesterday, me and the elders came to a conclusion. Naruto Uzumaki, you are hereby protected by the members of the Hyuga clan. Should any of the foolish villagers try anything, they will face our wrath. You are also welcome to come to the Hyuga manor as many times as you like. He smiled. Naruto was taken by surprise but smiled anyway and bowed. Thank you very much, Hayashi-san. You'll be calling me father soon when you turn 18. He didn't mention that he and the elders decide that he and Hinata were engaged and neither child knows about it. Seeing their reactions should be somewhat interesting. Hiruzen sighed when he put a piece of paper down from the rakeage demanding the head of Hayashi Hyuga as compensation for the death of their ambassador. Even thought the man had confessed that it was the rakeage himself who sent him here in the first place to steal the Byakugan's secret through Hinata. The man was executed not too long ago for trying to kidnap the girl, and now they were demanding compensation. It was a good thing that they didn't know about Naruto possessing the Mokuton, otherwise they'd be asking for him too. He smiled when he heard from Hayashi yesterday that the boy had saved her from the fool using another one of Shodame's techniques yesterday. The boy was progressing, but Tenzo was obviously worried when he heard Naruto had passed out yesterday, having already seen the boy as his little brother as well as student. He already made preparations for the boy to enter into the academy, ignoring both the council and shinobi's protests. He is the Hokage, and he made the decisions, not them. And he won't be alone because Hinata will be by his side the whole time. Chapter 3. Starting the academy. Hinata and Naruto walked hand in hand to the academy with one of the Hyuga bodyguards, following right behind them, eyeing the villagers carefully. Hinata could see the villagers give Naruto hateful glares and calling him names, but he ignored them in favor, squeezing Hinata's hand and walking ahead of him. He really needed to concentrate on the route to the academy, and had to focus, so he had no time to listen to the villagers' nonsense. Speaking of which, he heard that 10 villagers disappeared and no one's seen them since. The ANBU had been searching for them but found nothing so far. Naruto wondered what could have happened to them. Oh well, it was probably none of his business. Hinata squeezed his hand back with a smile, happy her father said she could still see Naruto. She had decided yesterday that she had fallen in love with him the first time she met him. She didn't care that he was blind at all. He was strong, kind, and brave. The building to the academy came into view and Hinata saw other children were gathered around. She turned towards the guard. Thank you for escorting us here. You can leave now if you want. The guard bowed. Be careful on your way home from school, Hinata-sama, Uzumaki-sama. He walked away from the kids at the gate, while they walked near the other children. Hinata saw some of them move away as soon as they saw Naruto, making her frown. It doesn't bother me, you know. It doesn't bother me at all. I've stopped caring about what people think of me a long time ago, Hinata-chan. So it's okay. He smiled. Why don't we just go inside? Hinata smiled and nodded, and they continued to walk inside the building, ignoring the looks the kids were giving them, and walked inside the classroom, agreeing to sit in the back near the window waiting for the others to arrive. She would protect him from their cruel words just like he protected her. The classroom started to fill in and the students were taking their seats. A few interesting individuals looked over at Naruto and Hinata, and that was Shikamaru Nara and Choji Akimichi. Shikamaru was told by his dad that Naruto was blind but walked around the village as though he could still see, confusing the boy. Is it a blind thing? The door opened and Iruka walked in the classroom, making the class quiet down. Alright class, settle down. Welcome to the academy. Today you will learn to be a ninja and go out into the real world. Hi sensei, the class said in unison. Iruka eyes Naruto, hearing from Sandaime that the boy became blind by the matron of the orphanage, and she was executed as a result. Deep down he felt the woman deserved it for doing that to such a small innocent child. He may have at some point and time felt the same way, but he realized how stupid he was to believe something like that and not see the real him. He was no different from the villagers because of his thinking, but thankfully he saw just how much he would have turned into the villagers thinking of such things if he didn't get his act together. He decided to help the boy by helping him through his education. Hinata and Naruto were outside sitting under a giant tree. She watched as some of the kids stayed away from them, and she guessed it was probably because their parents told them not to get close to Naruto. But some of them snickered at him, mocking him because he's blind, making her activate her Byakugan at them, shutting them up permanently. Naruto sensed her emotions and poked her forehead, making her look at him. I told you it's fine, but. He smiled. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. I am who I am, and that is Naruto Uzumaki. She smiled and grabbed his hand. You are and always will be to me, Naruto-kun. Of course, and besides, going to the academy won't be so hard for me anyway. He told her. Why? He whispered something in her ear, making her eyes grow big. You mean? He nodded his head with a smile. Make sure you tell Iruka-sensei though. Okay. When Hinata got back in the classroom with Naruto's clone that could see, they sat in the back of the classroom again. Iruka had heard that Naruto already knew how to do shadow clones, making him a prodigy for learning it so early. Not only that, but the clones could see perfectly well too. He wondered if the Sandaime knew about this and sent him to the academy. But the real question was, where was the real Naruto hiding? Naruto was currently taking a nap on top of a tree branch with his hands behind his head without a care in the world. The beauty of shadow clones was just wonderful. And as an added bonus, no one was bothering him, so he could sleep all he wanted, and when the lessons were over he could just have the clone dispel and send him the feedback like always. He frowned though when he sensed two people approaching him. One felt like shadows were following him, while the other felt like a human tank. How strange. Did you need something from me? He asked without opening his eyes. Shikamaru stopped in his tracks and stared up at the blonde, as did Choji. Are you sure you're blind? Last time I checked, yes. I repeat, do you need something? He repeated. We noticed you were skipping class, but we just saw you in the classroom. Choji said, a little confused as to how there could be two of them. Shikamaru sighed. Troublesome. You used a shadow clone, didn't you? Naruto smiled, his eyes still closed. You're smart. Choji looked at his best friend. Shadow clone. But isn't that advanced? Yeah. Shikamaru nodded. Naruto opened his eyes and stared down at them. Why are you two skipping class? Are you bored? Shikamaru walked over to the tree Naruto was sleeping on top of and sat down. It's troublesome to go to class. I'll sleep out here. Choji sat next to Shikamaru, leaned against the tree with his best friend with a smile. Naruto said nothing and simply closed his eyes again, accepting the new arrivals, not feeling their presence as a disturbance. A few years passed and Naruto was enjoying his time at the academy. A few teachers tried to hinder his education but were caught and severely punished, or in this case their teaching licenses were revoked. Naruto and Hinata grew closer and closer each day since their early days at the academy. Shikamaru and Choji would sometime hang out with them along with the new arrivals Kiba and Shino, but it wasn't every day. Naruto can skip classes and have his clone attend them because he's blind and can just relax, but they can't keep doing it every day, otherwise they'll get in trouble with their parents, something Naruto didn't want. There was also the Uchiha incident that spread throughout the village like wildfire. Sasuke Uchiha was the only survivor after his older brother Itachi Uchiha killed the rest of the clan and took many people by surprise, but Naruto met Itachi once. He didn't sense any hostility from him at all. He felt pain from the man, so he talked to Itachi in the forest one day. The man had actually asked him for advice, him of all people. He had never given anyone advice before, so this was a first, but he did his best to give him his opinion about a decision he was forced to make. He simply told the man, "You're doing it to protect the person you love the most." The old man told me once that we all have to make tough decisions and that sometimes they're not always good, but we make that choice because there's someone we love the most and want to protect. And we'll do anything to keep them safe. He didn't know why Itachi hugged him when he finished saying what he had to say, but it felt good to be hugged, even though Hinata hugged him all the time anyway. Speaking of Hinata, he goes over to her house every day and watch or well feel her train with her father, and her stances were sloppy at first, which he told Hayashi, but after practicing and practicing she had gotten the hang of it, and was able to keep up with her father. Hayashi told him the sad news about how his brother was the sacrificial lamb to Kumo after the Hyuga incident, as they called it. Hayashi was against it, of course, and was fully prepared to sacrifice himself, but his brother Hizashi wouldn't let him do it, and decided to sacrifice himself for the sake of the village. The man showed such a sad expression because he couldn't save his brother. It made Naruto feel sad for the man as well as Hinata and Niji, her cousin who she calls Niji and Ai-san. He met her little sister Hanabi too, and the girl was adorable as a baby, but now she tries to attack Naruto all the time, seeing as how he would always sense her coming or block her attacks whenever she sees him, but he always got her in the end, making him laugh. She didn't hate him. Actually, she started calling him Naruto and Ai-sama every time he came over for a visit, making him smile. Niji was a different story. After the death of his father, he completely changed, especially towards Hinata. Naruto could sense the emotions coming off from him in droves. The negative emotions he felt were intense. The emotion of hatred. He knows because he would feel it from the villagers every single day of his life, but he ignores it just like some ignore him. Well, that's not exactly true. The foreign businesses and merchants loved his company, and their faces lit up with a smile every time they saw him walk in and either buy things or give them things from the forest like flowers, plants, and herbs. The other stores in the village tried to say malicious things about him, especially taunt him because he's blind, and that made the foreign business owners and merchants give them a nasty glare and tell them how truly disgusting they truly are, and that this is the real face of the famous Konohagakure, making the malicious villagers feel the reality of what they just said. And the things Naruto was giving the merchants and foreign shop owners were rare plants and herbs that can cure diseases if used correctly like he told them, and since they were really rare they sold for a high price too. The foreign shop owners would give him high-quality food to take home and make, and when they asked how he'll be able to cook the food he was given, he simply smiled and said he knows a secret technique to making the food and wouldn't tell anyone. One of the weapon owners gave the boy an odachi blade so he could either walk with it or use it in combat, telling him he could take enemies off guard if he did. Naruto didn't put the blade to waste and would practice with it every day, as well as practice his taijutsu with his shadow clones. He realized he could read his opponent's movements simply by sensing them thanks to his enhanced senses. Hearing and practicing with shadow clones was really helpful. At the academy, Sasuke had his own fan club, which the other boys found annoying, but Naruto really didn't care, and he could sense that Sasuke didn't care much for them either. The most annoying ones were Sakura and Ino, and boy could the pink-haired girl scream, much to the blonde's annoyance because she was giving him a headache. Being blind means you lose one of your senses, and that also means your other senses are enhanced, so yeah, having enhanced hearing can be both a blessing and a curse. He also noticed that wherever he and Hinata went, Sasuke would always follow them from a distance, but it's not because he was interested in her. No, he was interested in him. Naruto had noticed it before, that the raven-haired boy would follow him around from a distance and just watch him, and that bothered him a lot. Despite Naruto being blind, the blonde was at the top of the class, same as Sasuke. He got perfect scores in taijutsu, weapons training, and academics, much to his classmates' surprise, except Hinata, Iruka, Shikamaru, and Choji, of course. He and Sasuke were both considered the Rookie of the Year, much to his fangirls' despair. Apparently only Sasuke should only have that title and not him, which was really stupid. Seriously, in his opinion, only Hinata should be considered a real kunoichi. The kids thought he was faking being blind, but he showed them his eyes and confirmed that he was indeed blind. That shut them up quickly. It was then Sasuke showed interest in the blonde-haired boy, but Naruto wanted nothing to do with him because of what he was sensing from the boy. Hatred, revenge, and obsession, such negative emotions he wanted nothing to do with at all. Emotions like those will do nothing but consume you in the end. Why the raven-haired was following him around like that he will never know, and honestly he didn't want to know. The blonde, now 12 years old, was wearing a black shirt with long sleeves with orange outlines and black pants with orange outlines on them. His odachi blade in his hand that he used to walk around with even though he didn't need to, but it just felt so right in his hand. He was currently walking with Iruka, his most favorite teacher in the academy, to Ichiraku, where he promised to treat the boy for lunch, seeing as how when they get back the boy will have to take the genin exams. Iruka examined the boy and saw he didn't look nervous at all. In fact, he was calm and collected. Naruto, are you nervous about the genin exam this afternoon? Iruka asked. Naruto smiled. Not really, if anything I'm excited. I hope to be on the same team as Hinata-chan too. Iruka chuckled. You two have been together since you were little. Who knows, you might be on the same team. I really hope so. I'd rather be with her than Ino or, God forbid, Sakura. Her screaming isn't good for my hearing at all. Naruto rubbed his left ear subconsciously, making Iruka chuckle nervously. It's true that Sakura can be a little loud. Oh, who was he kidding? She was really loud. They arrived at the restaurant where Tucci greeted the boy and teacher. So Naruto, did you take the exam yet? Tucci smiled, already making the blonde's favorite. No, not yet. I know Yamato-sensei is excited about it though. I actually hope he becomes my sensei. Naruto smiled. He showed his sensei one time his Suiton and Futon techniques, making the man smile at his progress with his training, and he still trained his Mokuton too. Katon wouldn't work for him for some reason, so he just forgot about it. I hope so too. The two of you act like siblings the way you interact with each other. The man smiled, placing the bowl before the boy. Naruto grabbed the chopsticks next to him and smiled, something like that. Ayam came out from the back and smiled at the blonde. Hinata's not with you today? No, not today. She wanted to hang out with Shino and Kiba for a bit. Besides, I can pretty much walk all by myself anyway. She just likes to help me out sometimes. He said, eating his ramen. Iruka still found his student fascinating after all this time. When he heard that some teachers were planning to hinder his education, he immediately reported them to the Hokage, where he proceeded to fire them quickly and replace them with A and BU disguised as teachers, but he had a sneaking suspicion that Naruto knew and didn't say anything. He frowned when he saw one time Naruto was outside just looking up at the sky, and some boys decided to bother him by taunting him about his blindness, making the man shake his head in disappointment. He was about to go outside and reprimand them when Naruto spoke in a calm tone. My blindness doesn't hinder my everyday life as people assume. I'm glad to be blind because I don't have to look at the ugly side of people like you. And with that he walked away, leaving the boys standing there unable to do anything, or say anything against what the blonde said. He smiled at the memory, glad the boy handled the situation without resorting to violence. Yeah, he'll do great when it comes to the genin exams. Naruto stood before the examiners, which were Iruka and Mizuki, who the blonde did not like at all, and the feeling was mutual on Mizuki's end as well. Not that he cared. Okay Naruto, you ready? Iruka smiled. Naruto smiled back, ready. First off, use Henji no Jutsu, transformation jutsu. Iruka instructed. Naruto did the hand signs, dog boar ram, Henji no Jutsu, transformation jutsu. There was a puff of smoke and Naruto transformed into Yamato, taking the two Chunin off guard. That's really impressive. Iruka marked the passing for the transformation technique. Naruto transformed back, thank you. Now, the Kawarimi no Jutsu, body replacement jutsu. He smiled. The blonde smiled and got right to it. Tiger, boar, ox, dog, snake, Kawarimi no Jutsu, body replacement jutsu. He replaced himself with a log. Excellent again. Iruka marked past. Naruto jumped down from the ceiling and smiled. And the last would be the Bunshin no Jutsu, clone jutsu. Iruka said, do you want me to use the normal clone or shadow clone? Naruto asked. Naruto made the tiger sign, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone jutsu. Two Naruto clones appeared on each side of him, making Mizuki's eyes widen. Iruka smiled again. Excellent job, Naruto. You passed the exam. Congratulations, you are officially a genin. He tossed the boy his headband and the blonde caught it with a smile. Thank you very much. Naruto bowed as wrapped it around his forehead and moved towards the way where his long sword lay. Grabbing the blade, he walked out of the room, closing the door behind him. Mizuki looked over at Iruka, still flabbergasted. He can use shadow clones? He's been able to do it since he was 5 years old. Iruka smiled. But that's a B-rank technique. I was just as surprised myself when I first saw it in my classroom. And by the way, Mizuki, did you notice anything peculiar about the shadow clones? Iruka smiled. Mizuki blinked, then widened his eyes in realization. The shadow clones. They could see. That's right. Naruto himself is blind, but his shadow clones can see just fine. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Mizuki didn't comment because he was too busy thinking about his plan, and how it involved the demon brat. Oh well, he'd just have to compromise instead. The other genin gathered and saw Naruto walk out of the room with a headband wrapped around his head, making their jaws drop. What the hell? How did you manage to pass when you can't even see? Ino yelled. Kiba whistled. Damn, I thought that since he's blind he'd fail the exam. Things aren't always what they seem. Shino commented. Hinata smiled. I knew Naruto-kun would pass. Troublesome blondes are unpredictable. Shikamaru sighed. But that's just how Naruto is. Choji smiled. Sasuke stared at the blonde hard, watching him walk away from them without answering anyone's questions. Sakura watched the raven-haired boy stare at the blonde, making her frown. What's so special about Naruto Baka anyway? Just because he's Rookie of the Year like Sasuke-kun doesn't make him better than him at all. Naruto ignored the rest of the rookies and started walking out of the building and summoned a shadow clone who appeared before him. I'll be in the forest. While I'm there, I want you to lure the you-know-who to the forest. He should have already found out where I live. Got it, boss. They vanished. Naruto started walking towards the forest. Mizuki's evil intentions were as clear as day. Too bad Irika-sensei didn't sense it, but I guess that's just the perks of being blind. Mizuki was jumping from roof to roof heading towards his intended target, the demon brat. It was currently night time and he had stolen the scroll of seals successfully. Now all he had to do was go to the brat's house, drag him out, and dump him in the forest where he would be killed by the ANBU. A vicious smile appeared on his lips, excited to finally kill the demon brat that should have died a long time ago. He arrived at the apartment and peeked through the window but didn't see the brat, just a bunch of worthless flowers. He felt a sharp object hit him in the back of the head. Ow, what the hell? He turned around and saw the very same brat he was looking for. The shadow clone gave Mizuki a cold glare and turned his back to him. You want me, right? Then come get me, if you can keep up, that is. And like that he took off with a small smirk on his lips. You little brat. Mizuki chased right after him, ignoring the fact that he was being lured into a trap and by a shadow clone no less. The clone led Mizuki right into the forest where Naruto hangs out all the time and stood there with his back facing the Chunin. End of the line, brat. The clone tilted his head so Mizuki could see and realized something too late. It is the end of the line. For you, that is. The clone dispelled and he heard laughter from above a tree branch and saw Naruto staring down at him. I didn't really expect you to follow my clone all the way here, but I guess that goes to show just how stupid you really are. Naruto smiled. Shut up, demon brat. Mizuki yelled. Naruto rolled his eyes. Don't you people get tired of saying the same old things every day? I know that I have the QB sealed inside me and I don't really care. What? Naruto smiled. Let me guess, you were expecting me to break down or something, right? Get over yourselves already. I've got better things to do than wonder about what you idiots think about me. Mizuki felt the scroll on his back be yanked off forcefully, sending him to the ground. Looking behind him, he didn't see anyone. When he turned back, he saw Naruto was gone and looked around nervously, taking out the giant shuriken off his back. Where the hell are you? He heard laughter, making his blood run cold. What's the matter with Mizuki-sensei? Why so scared? His voice sounded throughout the forest. Mizuki was still looking around, his heart beating fast. That's a fast heartbeat I hear, Mizuki-sensei. The man stopped moving, sweat pouring down his face. How? Didn't you know? I have very good hearing, and I can hear your heartbeat pretty well. It's beating really fast. You're scared, aren't you? Like hell I am. Your heartbeat says otherwise. You really shouldn't lie, Mizuki-sensei. Because you're not very good at it. Shut up. He bumped into a tree trying to find the blonde. All of a sudden a vine slapped the man across the face, sending him flying across the forest, and making him drop his weapon. Lifting his head up from the ground and touching his cheek and looking up and saw the blonde smiling at him, Naruto made the clone sign, Tajumo Kutan Bunshin no Jutsu, wood style, multi-wood clone jutsu. Multiple wood clones sprouted from the trees all around them, making Mizuki sit up and crawl away from the boy. He didn't get far because more clones appeared, blocking off any exits. The man slowly looked back over to the blonde. Why you? How? This is impossible. Naruto crossed his arms. Do you know why this forest is so special? It's because the Shodaime created all of the trees here in Konoha, including this forest. It also has a name. It's called the Living Forest. The wood clones attacked the man. Ayahawa! Mizuki screamed. Naruto sighed and dispelled the wood clones, staring at the passed out and beaten up Mizuki. I think I took it too far. I actually made him scream. Naruto! Irika appeared along with 5 ANBU. Are you okay? What was that scream? It came from him. Naruto motioned over to the passed out and beaten up Mizuki, impressing Irika. You took him down all by yourself? Irika looked at the boy. Naruto nodded. I may have used a little psychological warfare on him first before I took him down, but I think I went a little overboard. The boy saw one of the ANBU kick Mizuki in the head and sweat dropped. Should the ANBU really be doing that? Naruto Uzumaki, where is the scroll of seals? The cat ANBU asked. She got her answer when a tree branch lowered itself before her and handed the scroll over to her. Taking the scroll, she bowed and the branch went back to normal. Naruto simply smiled. I get the feeling the old man would want to see me after everything that's happened tonight. Irika sighed with a smile. Yes, he will. But I'm just glad you're alright. Naruto smiled at the man, appreciating the concern very much. Now he could only wonder how Yamato would react when he heard about what happened. He shuddered, remembering Yamato's scary face. He'd really hate to be Mizuki right now. Hokage office. Hiruzen smiled at his surrogate grandson, Naruto, on behalf of Konoha. Allow me to thank you for stopping the traitor Mizuki and returning the scroll of seals in the process. There's no need to thank me. I sensed Mizuki was up to something bad and figured he'd try to get me involved in it somehow, so I figured I'd deal with him now so I can get some sleep. It may be a day off tomorrow, but I'm still sleepy. He pouted, making the two men laugh. Hiruzen smiled. Naruto, I was planning on giving this scroll to you on your 18th birthday, but Mizuki ruined that, so I'm giving it to you now. What? Naruto and Irika exclaimed. Hold on, Hokage-sama. I know that Naruto is responsible and all, but he may not be able to handle the scroll of seals. Iruka protested. Iruka-sensei's right. I'm a genin and probably couldn't understand it even if I tried. Naruto agreed. The old man sighed. That's where you're wrong, for you see, this scroll may have belonged to Hashirama Senju, but the first creator and owner of the scroll belonged to the Uzukage of the once prosperous village Uzushiogakure. Ashina Uzumaki of the Uzumaki clan. Naruto's eyes widened. See clan? I have a clan? Iruka was just as surprised. He had never heard of the Uzumaki clan before. Yes, in fact Hashirama's wife was an Uzumaki. Her name was Mito Uzumaki, a high censor, and the first container of the Kyuubi. Naruto finished. Both men turned to look at him. You know, I've known since I was 5 years old when I first met the fox. He was really grumpy when we first met. Naruto remembered. He heard Kurama snort inside his head in amusement. Why, you talk to it? Iruka was concerned. Yes, and before you ask, no, he didn't try to hurt or kill me. He just wanted to talk because he was bored. We would talk all the time in the orphanage, and he would tell me stories about a man he hated more than anything in the world. Naruto frowned. Who is this man? Hiruzen wondered curiously. Madara Uchiha. Hiruzen's eyes widened. Madara Uchiha? Why does the Kyuubi hate Madara? Iruka asked. Because he controlled him and used him against Hashirama Ajisen. Naruto explained. What? Can the Sharingan control the Kyuubi? Iruka gasped. Naruto nodded. Hiruzen sighed. I wonder. On the night of the attack, was it really Madara that controlled the beast to attack the village? If that's the case, then the Uchiha clan were treated like criminals for nothing, which ultimately caused them to try and plan a coup which resulted in their demise. Let's not think about that right now. Let's get back to what we were discussing before. Yes, Naruto, you have a clan. Your mother Kushina Uzumaki originated from Uzushiogakure and migrated to Konoha when she was a child. She was also the Kyuubi's second container after Mito-san died. Hiruzen revealed. And my mother was one too. What happened to her? He desperately wanted to know. She died right after you were born. And before you say anything, no, you are not to blame for her death. She died to protect you just like your father did. The old man smiled sadly. Naruto took a deep breath. Who's my dad? Hiruzen closed his eyes before opening them. The Yandame Hokage Minato Namikaze. Iruka was taken back by this new information and actually looked at the blonde-haired boy. He looks just like Yandame. How come I've never noticed this before? Naruto closed his eyes trying to calm down, and Kurama's voice was helpful too because he was ready to start yelling, but that wouldn't solve anything, so he simply sighed. Why are you telling this to me now? The two men could hear the hint of betrayal in the boy's voice, making the old man flinch. I'm sorry. Minato had a lot of enemies in both Kumo and Iwa, with Iwa being the most vicious. If they found out that he had a son, they would have sent assassins after you and killed you. Naruto said nothing for a while before finally speaking. I see. Hiruzen got up from the chair and the scroll to the boy who had set it down on the ground. I know I've failed you by not telling you your origins, but I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. The old man bowed, taking Iruka by surprise a little bit, but he couldn't help but understand why he was bowing and asking for forgiveness from the blonde. Naruto stared at the man's bowing figure for about 2 minutes before he sighed and rubbed the back of his head. Fine. You're forgiven. Hiruzen stood up straight in shock. The boy smiled. I forgive you. You were thinking about keeping me safe, so I can't stay mad at you. Besides, it's not in my nature to hate anyone anyway. Hiruzen smiled. Thank you, Naruto. That's my line, Gigi. He grinned. And don't worry, I'll take good care of the scroll. Hold on, there's something else I need to give you. Hiruzen walked back over to his desk and rummaged through his drawer, making Naruto and Iruka curious. He pulled a black notebook out and handed it to the boy, who felt it. A notebook? Not just any notebook either. It belonged to Minato. The old man smiled. Really, Dad? Naruto was surprised and a little happy at the same time. That's right, he put all of his in there and told me to pass it on to you should something happen to him in the near future. I'm giving it to you now. Oh, and congratulations on graduating from the academy. He smiled grandfatherly. Naruto had the biggest smile on his face. Thank you. You're welcome. Now go home and get some sleep. You look exhausted. Believe me, I am. He was going to pick up the scroll, but Iruka got it for him. Thanks, Iruka-sensei. You're welcome. Come on, I'll walk you home. Fine with me. Both of them walked out of the man's office and Hiruzen smiled. Minato. Your son will be an excellent shinobi. Naruto had his head on his pillow with a serene smile on his face. He had parents, and both of them loved him. He was really glad he had a day off tomorrow because he wanted to go back to the forest and tell it what he learned. Go to sleep, Kit. I am. Good night, Kurama. He smiled. Kurama didn't answer, but he smiled as he too drifted off to sleep. Chapter 4. Team 7 forms. If Naruto had to guess what his major weakness is when it comes to being blind, it would be that if someone were to hide their presence completely, he won't be able to sense it. That was what Yamato had proved when they had first started training his ability to sense as well as chakra control. He knew that if he went up against a that can hide their presence completely like Yamato can when they first tested it out, then he would be in trouble and had to rely on his shadow clones for help. Another weakness is that for some reason he can't sense them if they're on water either, which is a little strange, but that was once again proven by their training sessions when they did the water exercise, and he admitted that he was scared to do it the first time because he thought he'd fall, but he managed to stay above the surface much to his surprise. When he first tried the shadow clone technique that the forest taught him before he lost his sight, he was able to do it easily compared to when he tried to use the normal clone technique, which he still had trouble doing even now. When it comes to basic level jutsus like the clone technique, he has a hard time doing it compared to others, but when it comes to high level, say C or B rank techniques like the shadow clone, he has no problem doing it, which is kinda crisscross, but he figured that it was an Uzumaki thing since he found out he had a clan last night. Another weakness is objects. When he started to walk around after he lost his sight, he had a hard time maneuvering around objects, like rocks for example. Rocks were his enemy, so it was a good thing that he was given the long sword as a use for a cane as well as a weapon. It'll come in handy in alerting him of the stupid rocks. When he first lost his sight, he had to walk a little slower so he could get used to the feeling of no longer seeing and had to take it slowly. It was a miracle he even made it to where Ishida-sensei and Gigi were the first time. When Naruto was about 4 years old, he had first wandered into the forest just to get away from the nasty glares of the villagers and decided to hang out there for a little while, but he wasn't expecting the trees to move. The first time he saw that, he freaked out and thought he was going to be killed. The forest wasn't trying to harm him, just say hello, which thinking back about it now made him laugh a little, but then again he wasn't expecting the forest to even be alive, but oh well. Since Naruto had a day off today, he decided to train some more with his sword, seeing as how he's still a novice at swordplay, and thought that getting some more practice in would be good. He may be okay with wielding a sword, but that didn't make him a master of it. No, he wanted to train with it, especially since the nice weapon owner gave to him as a thank you gift. Currently Naruto was in the Hokage's office, having walked directly there from his apartment with his long sword in hand. It felt really good to walk around with it, plus it's helpful. He noticed that the villagers weren't whispering things about him to his face like they used to, probably because he kept ignoring them since he was a kid, but he could still feel some of their glares while the others simply ignored his presence. Guess it goes both ways then. He ignores them and they ignore him, but they do it out of malice, he does it out of boredom. Anyway, he had gotten his picture for his new ID and was now currently in the Hokage's office so he could see the picture. Hiruzen smiled. This looks like a good picture, Naruto. Thanks, Gigi. Naruto smiled. So what do you have planned for today? I was going to go to the forest to train some more. I need to work more on practicing some kenjutsu with my sword. I'm a complete novice when it comes to sword play, so I need to train. He said, well, learning how to use weapons would be good for you. I know that one of Guy's genin is also practicing some weapon skills. It's always good to keep training what you already know before you start something new. That reminds me of Naruto. I meant to ask you what your affinity is. Hiruzen inquired. It's futon actually, but I can use suiton too. But katan I'm not really good at controlling. Every time I try I feel as though I'm being rejected, so I left it alone. Naruto smiled. So suiton is sub-affinity then? Basically, I'm surprised I used it well at all. I even went so far as to use the water dragon, but that's because of the help from my shadow clones. The blonde remembered. You managed to do it on your first try. Impressive. Yeah, but it was then I realized it was just pure dumb luck, because when I tried it again I couldn't maintain it for long, and it soaked me. When you try something right the first time doesn't mean it'll work for you again, so I've been training non-stop to get it like last time. Naruto explained. I was the same when I was your age, but my struggle was katan, but after a while I finally got it down. Hiruzen reminisced. Naruto nodded. Futon was just as hard too. I would sometimes cut myself trying to use some of the jutsus. Elemental affinities are really hard. They are. But there are some jounin out there with more than one, and have mastered them since they were genin. Hiruzen thought of Kakashi, who has a lightning affinity, but with the Sharingan he copies other affinities as well via jutsus. What about Doton? Naruto shrugged. I don't really care for it, so I didn't try to use it. I see. Besides, I have Mokuton, Suiton, and Futon. I don't think I need another affinity anyway. If that's what you want, my boy. Naruto was about to say something else when his ears picked up something. Someone was coming and approaching quickly, meaning they must be running down the halls and heading right here. I think you have a visitor. Before the old man could respond, the door opened, revealing a young boy with brown spiky hair, a blue scarf wrapped around his neck, wearing a yellow shirt and gray shorts. Prepared to be defeated by the old man, the boy declared, running towards him with a shuriken in hand, only to trip on his own scarf, falling right on his face. Hiruzen sighed tiredly. This is like what the 10th time his grandson tried to attack him. Naruto turned to the old man. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess you know this kid? Yes, this is Konohamaru, my grandson. The old man gave his grandson a deadpan look at his fallen form. Honorable grandson. Another voice sounded and came into the room. Looks like Ebisu arrived here too, the old man thought. Ebisu saw Naruto and glared in the blonde's direction. There's no point in glaring at me, so I'd appreciate it if you'd just stop. The blind cited. Wah dash. And before you ask, yes, I'm blind. Seriously, how many times do I have to do this? Naruto was getting sick and tired of it. The only reason he could tell Ebisu was glaring at him was because he felt it. Konohamaru picked himself off the ground and rubbed his nose. He looked around the room before he spotted the blonde and pointed at him. Hey you! How dare you trip me? I didn't trip you, you did that all on your own, kid. You should really be more careful. The blonde responded calmly. Show some respect to the honorable grandson of the Sandaime Hokage. Ebisu growled. Respect is something you earn, not your own rights to, Naruto stated, making the man look like an idiot. Anyway, I should get going, Hokage-sama. He walked right by the stunned kid and speechless Special Jounin walking out the room, closing the door behind him. Hiruzen smirked seeing the man's speechless face, not like he didn't deserve it, mind you. But it was still hilarious. Naruto walked away from the tower and headed right towards the living forest of Konoha. He was still surprised not that many people know that it's alive, but then again the only reason he found out was because he wandered there as a child and enjoyed his stay. Maybe it was the will of the forest to not let anyone besides those it finds worthy to enter and know it's alive, but that was just a guess. He walked through some fences when he sensed he was being followed by an all too familiar presence, making him stop walking. Can I help you with Konohamaru? Konohamaru peeled the concealer off from the fence with a stunned expression. How did you know? I felt you were following me. Plus I have very good hearing, which is both a good thing and a hassle at the same time. Naruto told him. Konohamaru stood before him. Wow, you really are blind, but you were able to tell I was following you anyway. That is so cool. Naruto chuckled. He had never been called cool before, but it was still a nice feeling. Thanks for the compliment. Now did you need something? Konohamaru gave him a determined look. I want you to make me your apprentice. Silence. What? I want you to train me. I can tell you're strong, and I want to beat the old man so people will see me for me, he said. Naruto blinked at that declaration, but thinking about it he realized that the kid just wanted to be seen as the individual Konohamaru, and not the title honorable grandson. It had to be annoying to be constantly called that title given to him by the villagers and shinobi alike, just like he was constantly called demon brat. He sighed. Follow me then. He walked ahead of him, and the boy followed without a word. Hey, how did you become blind anyway? Were you born blind? He asked out of curiosity. No. Naruto answered immediately. Then how? You don't need to know. Konohamaru pouted but let it go, seeing the blonde didn't really want to talk about it right now. Naruto led them all the way to the living forest, making the little boy look around in awe. Wow, pretty amazing, isn't it? It is. This forest is so huge. Konohamaru smiled. You know this forest has a name. It does? What's it called? The living forest. The living forest? The boy questioned. Naruto smiled. I came here once when I was a kid and the trees started to move on their own as well as the branches. I was scared at first but then felt comforted, almost as though someone was watching over me. Konohamaru looked at the trees. How come they're not moving now? They will, just not right now. Anyway, before you start any jutsus you need to learn chakra control first. Naruto told him. Chakra control, what's that? It means controlling and wielding your chakra. It's important to learn chakra control because it could end up saving your life and prevent you from getting killed in the near future. Naruto told him seriously, repeating what Yamato-sensei said to him the first time. Konohamaru gulped. Try to send chakra to your feet, then walk up the tree with just your feet and not your hands. But make sure you focus because that's important. Naruto instructed. It felt weird for him to be telling a kid what to do about chakra control. Why did he sound like Irika-sensei for some reason? Konohamaru nodded and closed his eyes, concentrating his chakra to his feet, hoping that he was doing it right. Opening his eyes, he saw his feet had blue chakra around them. WL. Looks like you got it from the sound of it. Okay, now try walking up a tree, he told the boy. Konohamaru walked over to the tree and slowly walked up while smiling. I did it. As soon as he said that, he lost his concentration and started falling, but Naruto caught him before he could hit the ground. I forgot to mention that concentration is important, so you might want to focus more on walking on the tree than announcing you got it, otherwise you'll fall like what happened just now. Naruto told him to put the boy back down on the ground. That was still pretty cool. Hey boss, guess what? Konohamaru grinned. Naruto raised a brow. Boss? He let it go and answered the boy. Yeah? Someday I want to be Hokage so people will see me for who I am. The boy smiled. Naruto smiled. Hokage, huh? Best of luck to you. Honorable grandson. Ebisu ran towards them and stopped. What are you doing all the way out here and with this degenerate? He's really starting to get on my nerves. The blonde thought. He's training me so that I can become Hokage someday. Konohamaru declared. Young master, to be Hokage you must know a variety of jutsus, Ebisu lectured. Besides, you can learn nothing from this fool. He will only lead you to ruin. Talking about yourself? Naruto tilted his head. What? Don't you think it's downright despicable to insult a blind person? I think so. Tell me something, Four Eyes. How did someone like you even become a special jounin anyway? Seems like a waste. The blonde smirked. Konohamaru giggled at Ebisu, making the man's face turn red. How dare you! He was about to approach the blonde when he felt the trees around them make noises and the leaves rustled, making him stand completely still. Judging from your reaction, you felt it, didn't you? Naruto inquired while gesturing to Konohamaru to stand behind him. What are you talking about? Naruto smiled. I think you made the forest mad. Suck to be you. One of the tree branches moved, scaring the crap out of Ebisu. What is this? Anyone who makes the forest mad is considered their enemy, and you, Ebisu, have become its enemy. Naruto said, charging at Ebisu until he was right in front of him and punched him hard in the gut, making him double over in pain. And by the way, he lifted up his sheathed sword. Never underestimate a blind person. He knocked the man out but hitting him in the back of the neck with the scabbard tip. Geez, Gigi needs to get better at special jounin. Naruto sighed. That was awesome. The trees moved. I saw it this time. Konohamaru grinned. I guess it is amazing the first time, huh? Naruto smiled. You want to keep training or do you want to call it a day? Let's keep training. Konohamaru grinned. Naruto shrugged. Fine by me. I need to train myself. Hiruzen watched what happened from the crystal ball and smiled. Looks like both Konohamaru and Naruto have hit it off quite well. He was glad. Hopefully Konohamaru will stop with his antics from now on. Hopefully. Naruto walked inside the building of the academy. He rested well last night. He and Konohamaru trained for what felt like hours, but they did take a break to get something to eat though. While Konohamaru practiced chakra control, he practiced his novice swordplay with his shadow clones. Turns out he can transform his kunai into his long sword for his clone to use and help him practice with. He still hadn't read his father's journal or taken a look at the scroll of seals, but maybe he could get through that today after the teams were formed. Yes, today he would find out if he would be on Hinata's team instead of being with Sasuke or Sakura the Banshee, as the kids call her, and boy were they right about her being a banshee. Walking into the classroom, he went over to sit in the back of the room, sitting next to the window, feeling the sun's rays touch his skin. Feeling the warmth of the sun on him made him have a thought. If at some point someone can manage to cure his blindness, would he even want them to? For some reason that didn't sit very well with him. If he regained his sight back, would he have to put up with seeing the glares of the villagers again? Their cruel words? If that's the case, then he'd rather stay blind then. He'll prove to them that even if he can't see, he can still be a strong shinobi. He heard the door open and the kids started walking inside, but he paid them no attention at all. He was waiting to sense Hinata. He could care less about everyone else. Well, that's not exactly true. Shikamaru and Choji are okay. Even though the shadow user was lazy, he could. Shikamaru was smart, smarter than him and everyone else in this room. Speaking of Shikamaru, you're going to sit over here, Shikamaru? Naruto asked. Troublesome, did you hear me or sense me coming? The lazy boy asked. Not telling. Troublesome. Choji smiled, munching on some chips. Wonder whose teams we'll be on. Hopefully not Ino or Sakura. Naruto stated. Amen. Shikamaru agreed. Choji's sweat dropped. Naruto felt someone sit next to him and smiled. Hey Hinata-chan. Good morning, Naruto-kun. Hinata smiled. I hope we're placed on the same team together, you and I both. The blonde agreed. His ears then picked up something inside. Damn, here they come. Just as he said that, the door was slammed open and the two girls Ino and Sakura were pushing and shoving each other to get inside the room so they could sit next to Sasuke, who was sighing in annoyance. Naruto rubbed his temples, feeling a headache coming on. This is going to be a long day. Troublesome girls. Shikamaru yawned. Iruka then came into the classroom. All right, everyone settle down. Take your seats, please. The kids sat down in their seats, and he coughed into his fist. Congratulations, because you are all now full-fledged genin. That means we prepared you enough to go out into the real world and be the best ninja you can be. Now then, all of you will be in groups of 3 for your team, and when I call the team numbers I will announce who will be on that team. Team 1. Naruto turned him out, not really interested in hearing the first few teams because he wasn't interested. That is until he heard something that made him wish the earth would just swallow him up. Team 7 are Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki. Sakura jumped for joy. Love conquers all. Naruto covered his ears and at the same time cursed his bad luck for being on the same team as the brooding Uchiha and Screeching Girl. Damn. That was all he could say. Iruka's sweat dropped when he saw Naruto's reaction and remembered how he got stuck with these two in the first place. Flashback. Hiruzen eyed the jounin before him. Well, does anyone have any questions about the teams? I do, Hokage-sama. Yamato spoke up first. Why did you choose Kakashi-sensei as the sensei for Naruto's team instead of me? I know how to work with Naruto. That's true and I agree with you, but Kakashi has the Sharingan and is the only one capable of teaching Sasuke how to use it when it awakens. As for Naruto, I think it's better if he's exposed to another jounin besides you. I know he's more comfortable with you, but I want him to get to know Kakashi as well. Hiruzen told him. With all due respect, Hokage-sama, but I highly doubt Kakashi-senpai would even know how to interact with Naruto. Yamato stated, not wanting the silver-haired jounin anywhere near his surrogate little brother. Kakashi, who was currently reading his book, looked up at the comment. And what do you mean by that? Exactly what I just said. Yamato responded using his scary face. Sensing the tension between the two, Iruka stepped in. Both of you calm down. There's no need to start getting hostile with each other. If I may, Kurenai interjected, I've heard that Naruto is a very capable sensor. If anything, I'd like to have him on my team along with Hinata Hyuga and Shino Aburame. Now hold, Kurenai, Asuma spoke up. Both Shikamaru and Choji are comfortable around him, so I suggest he be on my team. Absolutely not. Yamato crossed his arms. Kurenai's team aside, Shikamaru is too laid back and lazy. It'll affect Naruto. The hell is that supposed to mean? Asuma frowned at the man. And what's wrong with my team? Kurenai narrowed her eyes. Iruka felt like a small animal surrounded by large predators and turned to the Sandaime for help. The old man simply shook his head in exasperation. End of flashback. Iruka sighed, having remembered the incident. Well, this is something Naruto will have to deal with. Shinobi endured, and that's exactly what he has to do now. He got back to reading the names. Team 8 are Shino Aburame, Kiba Inuzuka, and Hinata Hyuga. Team 9. Hinata was heartbroken that she and Naruto weren't on the same team, but they can still see each other when they're not doing missions, so it's still not all that bad. Team 10 are Shikamaru Nara, Choji Akimichi, and Ino Yamanaka. Iruka finished up. Ino puts her head down on the desk. How come Sakura gets to be on the same team as Sasuke, and she's stuck with a lazy bum and a fatso? It just wasn't fair. That's it for your teammates, Iruka told them. Now then, for Team 7's Jounin Sensei it will be Kakashi Hatake. Naruto flinched when he heard that name. You have got to be kidding me. Yamato-sensei can't stand Kakashi-sensei and now he's the sensei for our team? This is just great. Team 8's Jounin Sensei will be Kurenai Yuhi. Iruka continued. Hinata knew Kurenai well, so she came over to the compound and told her father that she would like to place her on her team in the near future. I guess she got what she wanted. And Team 10's Jounin Sensei will be Asuma Saratobi. Iruka finished. Your senseis will come to get you in the afternoon. Good luck. And like that he left the classroom. Naruto still couldn't believe it, being put on the same team as a brooding Uchiha and a fangirl, not to mention having a Jounin sensei Yamato-sensei doesn't like very much. Someone up there must like placing him with difficult people. Guess I'll just have to deal with it. The blonde was on top of a desk sitting near the door this time, waiting for their sensei to show up, and it's been over an hour. The other came to get their students, but theirs was running late apparently. He sighed and closed his eyes, leaning against his sword, not even paying attention to his teammates at all. What a pain. So Sasuke-kun, would you like to go out on a date sometime? Sakura asked him for what felt like the 100th time today. He just ignored her the first few times before finally speaking and saying, no, repeatedly hoping she'd give up, but alas it was not meant to be. She kept asking and his patience were starting to run real thin. No, he responded again. Sakura looked saddened that he refused her offer to go out on a date again. She then looked at her other teammate, and saw his eyes were closed, meaning he was probably asleep. She was still trying to figure out how he even managed to pass the exam at all when he's blind. She was the first to believe he was faking and called him out on it, but then he showed her his eyes and it shut her up quickly, proving that he was in fact blind, but the way he walked around made it seem like he could see. She remembered that at recess he would always take to sitting up on a tree branch and just fall asleep with Hinata below him, and sometimes Shikamaru and Choji joined him too. She sighed, but still, why did I have to be on the same team as Naruto Baka anyway? I bet it was just pure dumb luck he got the Rookie of the Year title along with Sasuke-kun. Sasuke was staring at the blonde and noticed that he was fast asleep, not even trying to make conversation with them. Not that he cared, because he didn't. There was just something about him he just couldn't figure out. How could some blonde dobe like him be his greatest challenge if he wanted to kill Itachi? He didn't dwell on it for now. If he was to be his stepping stone into killing Itachi, then so be it. He'd defeat the blonde and figure out his secrets. Naruto opened his eyes. Took him long enough. Before any of his teammates could say anything, the door opened and Kakashi walked inside, observing his genin team. He saw Sasuke and Sakura stare at the blonde, then back at him, almost like they were trying to figure something out. He looked at the blonde and saw he was paying no attention to them at all and instead looking at him with a bored expression. Well, Kakashi looked at them individually. My first impression of you all is, you're boring. Sasuke scowled at him and Sakura was about to yell, but Kakashi spoke first. Meet me on the roof in 5 minutes. And like that he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Sasuke and Sakura looked at each other, then back to the door, only to see Naruto was gone, taking them by surprise. When did he leave? Rooftop. Kakashi arrived at the roof and pulled out a book, waiting for his genin team to arrive. About 2 minutes later he heard footsteps and saw it was Naruto walking with a walking stick that looked like a katana in disguise. The blonde walked on the left side of the stairs and sat down, then proceeded to close his eyes. Quite the antisocial one, isn't he? He thought. A few minutes later Sasuke and Sakura soon came and sat down on the steps, both of them giving the blonde side glances. Kakashi noticed the blonde's eyes were opened. Very curious. Well now, why don't we start with the introductions? I'll go first to start us off. My name is Kakashi Hatake. Well, I have many likes, my dislikes as well. As for my hobbies and dreams, well, you don't need to know because you're too young. He smiled beneath his mask. Naruto didn't care. Sasuke's eye twitched, and Sakura's sweat dropped. All he told us was his name. Alright, Pinky, you're next. Sakura had a tick mark on her forehead at the Pinky remark but answered anyway. My name is Sakura Haruno. My likes are, she glanced at Sasuke with a blush. My likes and hobbies are, she glanced at Sasuke again. My dreams for the future is, she looked at Sasuke and giggled, and the person I dislike is Naruto Baka, she yelled. Both Kakashi and Sasuke looked over to see the blonde's reaction. Naruto brought his hands up to his ears and took some earplugs out before putting them in his pocket, and saying nothing at all. Kakashi had to stifle a laugh when he saw Sakura's reaction. He saw Sasuke sigh. He was probably thinking he should have done the same thing when it comes to her screeching. The silver-haired man had to sign though. Girls her age are only interested in one thing. And that's boys. I just hope this doesn't affect her performance as a kunoichi. If it does, I'll have to step in. Alright, your turn now, Mr. Brooder. Sasuke scowled at the man before speaking. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I don't have any likes nor dislikes. My hobbies are training so that I can get stronger. My dream for the future, I'm going to restore my clan and kill a certain someone. There was tension after that introduction, but Sakura was giving the boy a look of adoration. Sasuke-kun is so cool. Kakashi frowned at the boy. Looks like his quest for revenge hasn't changed. This could become a problem. Looking over at Naruto, he saw the boy had closed his eyes before opening them again, making Kakashi raise a brow. Wonder what that was about. Okay, Blondie, you're the last one. Naruto didn't react to the nickname at all but spoke anyway. Naruto Uzumaki. And that was all he said. Silence. Kakashi blinked. There's nothing else you want to add? Am I supposed to? Is it required? Well, no, but then who cares? The man's sweat dropped, and he's the antisocial one. This could be a problem when it comes to working together as a team. Right. Anyway, I want all of you to meet me tomorrow at Training Ground 7 at 6 a.m. Oh, and I suggest you not eat any breakfast. Otherwise you'll just throw it back. And on that note, see you guys tomorrow. Kakashi disappeared in a whirl of leaves, leaving the three alone. Naruto immediately stood up and walked away, having something else better to do, and besides he was in no mood to hang out with his teammates today. Oidobe. Sasuke called out. Naruto ignored him, opening the door to the roof and leaving them alone, making the raven-haired boy scowl at the blonde. He ignored Sakura's attempt to ask him out on a date, and jumped off the roof, leaving her alone before she too left. Naruto headed towards the training area Kakashi-sensei told them about yesterday, but he woke up a little earlier than the assigned meeting place. He had woken up at 5:30. Instead he ate breakfast, washed up, and headed out the door on his way to the training area. Yesterday, as soon as he left, he headed to the forest to train. Thank God Sasuke didn't try to follow him, otherwise that would have been a total headache. Anyway, he went there for the sole purpose of practicing his sword play, wanting not to fall behind and take his training seriously. After that was done, he went to get some lunch and headed home to sleep early, but not before tending to his plants. He realized he had a passion for gardening, and it was really relaxing too. Why doesn't everybody garden to calm their nerves? Anyway, he arrived at the meeting point and didn't care what time it was, but he was here, and that's all that matters. He walked up the tree and laid down on the tree branch, folding, crossing his arms together, making sure his sword was secured in his arms. Once he got into a comfortable position, he drifted off to sleep. About 25 minutes later, he heard the loud voice of his female teammate wake him up. Wake up, Naruto Baka, she yelled. He opened his eyes slowly, hearing the shrill of the banshee. Seriously, does she have to scream? The blonde dug his earplugs out his pockets and put them in his ears before drifting off to sleep again. not hearing Sakura's yelling much to his relief. Seriously, sometimes having enhanced hearing can suck sometimes. Sakura growled up at the blonde as he put earplugs in his ears and went back to sleep. Why that little cha? Who does he think he is, ignoring us like that? Inner Sakura yelled. Sasuke saw the blonde take his earplugs out, putting them on and drifting back to sleep. He wondered how long the blonde had been here. More importantly, how in the world did he get up there in the first place? It doesn't matter. Right now he needs to focus on what Kakashi has in store for the team. 3 hours later, Sakura was tapping her foot impatiently. It's been 3 hours already and Kakashi-sensei still hasn't shown up. Looking over at Sasuke, she saw he was just as upset as she was. Looking up at the tree, a tick mark formed on her forehead. Naruto was still sleeping without a care in the world. Why is he still sleeping? She frowned. Sasuke was getting impatient. Where the hell was Kakashi anyway? He was the one that told them to be here at 6 a.m., and he's not even here. Looking up at his blonde teammate, he suppressed a scowl seeing he was still fast asleep. Naruto woke up blinking a few times, having gotten his nap out of the way. He stretched his aching muscles, hearing some of his bones crack in the process. Looks like Yamato-sensei was right about Kakashi-sensei's tardiness to things, and this was a prime example. He was curious as to why Yamato-sensei didn't get along with the man, but something tells him that the wood user wouldn't tell him even if he asked anyway. He felt another presence appear, meaning that Kakashi-sensei had arrived, making him sigh. Why do I get the feeling this will be a real pain? Jumping down from the tree, he felt that he was standing next to Sakura. She was probably screeching at Kakashi-sensei for being late, but then again he wouldn't know because he still had his earplugs in, so he wouldn't hear her. He soon took them out his ears and put them back in his pockets, hoping that she wouldn't scream anymore. Kakashi smiled at the blonde under his mask, doing the same thing as he did, and that was taking his own earplugs out his ears. Sasuke blinked at the action of the man. He was really starting to consider getting some earplugs like these two did. Now that we're all here, let me explain the real reason why I gathered you three here today. And that reason is to see if you're worthy of passing the real exam to become genin. Kakashi told them. What? Sakura exclaimed. Sasuke was shocked. Naruto looked curious. Kakashi took out 2 bells, jingling them so Naruto could hear them. This is now officially a survival test. And in this survival test, the objective is to acquire at least one of the 2 bells you see in my hand. The one who fails to get a bell will be tied to the stump and denied lunch. He saw Sasuke and Sakura hold their stomachs as they growled, but he noticed Naruto's stomach didn't, and raised a brow. You ate breakfast, didn't you? You suggested we don't eat. You didn't say we were ordered not to. If they didn't eat breakfast, then it's their problem, not mine. Naruto stated indifferently. Sasuke glared at the blonde, realizing he was right. Kakashi only suggested they don't eat before arriving here, he didn't order them not to. Sakura was thinking the same thing, but annoyed that Naruto said it out loud and so nonchalantly. Kakashi was taken back by the blonde's lack of concern for his teammates. This could really be a problem. I should talk with Sandaime or Yamato about this. True. Anyway, back to business. Like I was saying, if you failed to get a bell, you get tied to the stump, and the one who didn't get a bell will fail the test and be sent back to the academy. He finished. What? Sakura screamed, making Naruto cover his ears. That is really irritating. He rubbed his ears. Sasuke got a determined look on his face. He would not fail this exam. He couldn't afford to fail. Not if he wanted to kill Itachi. Naruto looked thoughtful. There are only 2 bells. There's another meaning behind this. I want you to come at me with the intent to kill. Kakashi told them seriously. But sensei, we might hurt you. Sakura said worriedly. I highly doubt we could. Catch him off guard maybe, but I doubt we'd be able to put a scratch on him. If anything, he'll probably just play around with us. Naruto closed his eyes as he thought this. Wait a minute. Maybe if we catch him off guard for a few seconds, then it should be easy to get the bells from him, but we'd have to be very careful. He's not known as the copycat ninja for nothing. Kakashi put the timer down on one of the stumps. I have the timer set. When it goes off, that means the test is over. Ready, go. All 3 took off to the woods to hide. Kakashi felt where his students were hiding. Well, it's good to know they know the basics of being stealthy. Sasuke is hiding up in a tree, Sakura is hiding in a bush, and Naruto, HM? Strangely, I can't seem to pinpoint his location. Naruto was hiding a little bit away from his teammates and Kakashi so he could think of the real purpose of the test. He tried to suppress his chakra like Yamato-sensei taught him to and didn't know if it was working or not, but he was hoping it did. He was currently in deep thought about the survival test. There's another reason for this test. There are only 2 bells, meaning that only 2 of us will be getting them while one of us is tied to the stump but at the same time gets sent back to the academy. But that makes no sense though. He wants us to come at him with the intent to kill in order to get the bells from him. His eyes widened. Unless he wants us to work together as a team in order to get the bells from him. So that's it. But then again, that's also a problem because those two wouldn't want to work with me at all. The emotions I felt from them confirmed it. Guess I'll just have to improvise if we want to pass the survival test. Kakashi waited for one of his students to engage him while he was reading his book. About 5 minutes later, Sasuke emerged before the Jounin. Well, now, the first one to come at me is you. Can't say I'm surprised. Humph, I'm better than those two. Sasuke said arrogantly. Is that so? Let's see. Kakashi humored him by putting his book away. Sasuke charged at Kakashi, sending a punch to the man's face, but the silver-haired Jounin merely sidestepped and grabbed the boy's wrist, kicking him in the gut, sending him flying away. But Sasuke maneuvered in the air and got back on the ground. Not bad, but not good enough, Kakashi told the boy. Sasuke then threw multiple shuriken at the Jounin, who dodged them all perfectly and avoided a kick to the head by the raven-haired boy and sent the boy away from him. When Sasuke was a good distance from the Jounin, he made some hand signs that caught the man's attention. Rat, tiger, dog, ox, rabbit, tiger. What? That's a C-rank technique that requires a lot of chakra. There's no way, Kakashi thought, taken by surprise. Katan, Hozenka no Jutsu, Fire Style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Sasuke sent a barrage of flames at the silver-haired Jounin, watching as the flames consumed the man. When the fire died down, he saw that Kakashi was nowhere in sight, making him look around. What? Where did I go? Doton, Shinjuzanshu no Jutsu, Earth Release, Double Suicide Decapitation Technique. Sasuke felt his ankle be grabbed by a hand from underground. Damn dash! He was dragged all the way underground until it was just his head sticking out. Kakashi materialized from underground. That was pretty impressive, using a C-rank technique like that, but you're a little too hot-headed. He bent down with an eye smile. Sasuke glared at him. Before Kakashi could say anything else, he saw 4 shuriken be sent right at him, making him do a backflip to avoid them. When he crouched down, he saw that Sasuke was no longer where he had him, making the man blink. It was probably Naruto that dug him out, but that was pretty clever of him to distract me with the shuriken so he could get his teammate to safety. He might not be antisocial after all. Let go of me, dope! Sasuke yelled. The boy was currently being carried on his male teammate's shoulder. The two of them were currently jumping from tree to tree. Naruto was taking him to a safer distance, having gotten him out of a sticky situation. Naruto stopped near a big tree and dropped the boy right on the ground, making him growl. Thanks. Sasuke saw another Naruto jump down a tree with a walking stick in hand, making his eyes widen. He looked at the one that grabbed him and dropped him on the ground. A shadow clone? But it can be seen. No problem, boss. What about the other one? The clone asked. Naruto nodded. Go find Sakura and bring her here too. He'll probably go after her next. You got it. The clone jumped up a tree and went off to find Sakura, while Naruto walked past Sasuke and into the clearing so he could start his plan and hope that it worked. Hey, I didn't need your help, Sasuke yelled at his retreating figure. Naruto merely waved his hand without looking at the raven-haired boy, making him clench his fists. Just how strong are you? Sakura was running through the woods trying to find Sasuke after seeing her other teammate take the Uchiha arrow away after distracting Kakashi-sensei by throwing shuriken. She stopped running and looked around. Where are they? Kakashi was standing on top of a tree and sighed. Maybe a little genjutsu will make her take her ninja training seriously. Snake Rat, Megan, Narukami no Jutsu, Demonic Illusion, Hell Viewing Technique. Sakura saw leaves appear out of nowhere and started to feel very sleepy, her eyes feeling heavy. After about a minute she felt normal again. What was that? Asked Sakura. She looked behind her and saw Sasuke was leaning against a tree bleeding out. Help me. Seeing Sasuke in such a state, she screamed and passed out, making the Jounin shake his head. I'm surprised that's all it took to knock her out, and that was only a D-rank genjutsu. He disappeared to go find the blonde. As soon as he left, Naruto's clone appeared, hefted Sakura over its shoulder, and took her to where Sasuke was, and if he wasn't in the same spot as before, he would just lay her against a tree. Kakashi was walking around trying to find his other student, and sensed he was near the clearing, so that's where he went. Walking out into the clearing, he saw the blonde was leaning against a tree, asleep while holding his walking stick close to him. He nearly lost his footing when he saw the blonde had passed out of sleep instead of participating in the fight with his teammates. He's actually sleeping? I think it's time to show him that this isn't a game, he thought, seriously walking over to his lazy student, intending to teach him a lesson. When he was close enough, the boy's eyes snapped open, and before Kakashi could react to the fact that his student was faking, the blonde unsheathed his blade and tried to slice him in half, but Kakashi jumped back just in time and did several backflips to get some distance before crouching in position, missing the smirk the blonde had on after he stopped with the backflips. That was close. I didn't think his walking stick was a sword in disguise. A pretty clever way to catch an enemy off guard, Kakashi thought as he stared at the blonde who still had his sword unsheathed. Naruto tilted his head. Too bad. I thought I had you, but I guess not. Well, you are a jounin, so it's no surprise I missed it. Kakashi stood up slowly, actually observing the blonde. That was pretty clever of you to lure me out here and try to strike me down while pretending to be asleep. Thanks for the compliment, I thought you'd be mad. Naruto smiled. Well, I did say to come at me with the intent to kill. Kakashi scratched his cheek. I just didn't think you'd actually try and do it. Guess I'm just full of surprises, aren't I? A voice said from behind the jounin. Turning around, he saw it was another Naruto that tried to take a swipe at him with a kunai, but the man jumped back and right into the real Naruto that was in a stance. Senko, flash. Swinging his blade as fast as he could, he cut the jounin in half. He had spent days trying to create his own sword technique and finally produced some results when he cut one of his shadow clones down. He was brought out of his thoughts when he heard a thump that sounded like wood making his sheath the blade. Kawarini. Huh? I kinda figure he'd do that. He gave the clone his sword and decided to stick with ninjutsu for a little while. Closing his eyes, he tried to sense where his jounin sensei might be hiding and needed to concentrate. After about a minute, his eyes opened, and he backflipped to avoid being pulled underground just like Sasuke. He got some distance between them and felt his clone stand beside him still holding his blade. You should get to a safe distance. The clone nodded and did what he was told as Kakashi appeared from underground. Interesting, you knew where I was hiding. Naruto's mouth twitched. One of the perks of being blind, enhanced senses. Kakashi narrowed his eyes at that. So it's true then. And genjutsu has no effect on him either because he's blind. This is gonna be tough. Naruto himself was thinking about what to do next. Should I use it here or not? I could just use some suiton or futon I've been practicing, but something tells me he already knows some of his own. He did the snake hand sign. No choice then. Guess I'll have to use it. Kakashi was observing the blonde carefully, wanting to see what he would do. But what happened was not what he was expecting at all. Mokuton, Shinobi Geishi, would release bamboo spikes. Bamboo spikes appeared from the ground and towards Kakashi, who back-flipped out the way of the bamboo spikes coming out of the ground. He stopped the backflips and stared at the boy in complete shock. That was Mokuton. How did he learn that? Only Tenzo knows it. Is that why the Sandaime asked Tenzo to train Naruto? Naruto waited to see what his sensei would do next. I need to be careful. Kakashi-sensei knows many jutsus, so there's no telling what he'll use against me. It might be earth, water, wind, fire, or something else entirely. I'll have to stick with Mokuton and pray he doesn't know a lot of the techniques. Kakashi did some hand signs. Tiger ox, tiger rat, suiton, suede and no jutsu, water style, water bomb jutsu. Kakashi expelled a large quantity of water in the form of a powerful torrent and sent it at the blonde. Naruto quickly acted using the defensive moves Yamato taught him. Rat, dog, tiger, Mokuton, Mokujihiki, wood style, domed wall jutsu. Wooden pillars sprouted from the ground and covered Naruto, creating a dome of protection from the water technique. That was close. If I hadn't remembered that move from Yamato-sensei, I would have gotten hit for sure. He brought the wood dome down, and since Kakashi was gone, making his eyes widen, wondering where he went, until his enhanced hearing heard something from behind and jumped backwards to avoid a kick to the back. While still airborne, he decided to use another Yamato taught him. Tiger horse, tiger snake, Mokuton, Daijin no jutsu, wood style. Giant forest jutsu. Naruto's arm transformed into branches and sent them towards Kakashi, who prepared to defend against the attack. Tiger hair, boar dog, Doton, Dorihiki, earth style, mud wall. An earth wall sprouted from the ground and blocked the wood attack, making it shatter once it made contact. Naruto landed back on the ground and stared at his sensei. What should I do now? Use a high level? No, if I do then I'll be too exhausted to fight back. So far I avoided being grabbed underground and kicked from behind thanks to my enhanced senses, but I don't have a chance at beating Kakashi-sensei. Yamato-sensei told me many things about him, being in the ANBU when he was a little older than me, as well as making chunin. I'm just glad he's taking it easy on me right now, because if he was serious then I'd be in big trouble. His thoughts were cut off when he heard the alarm go off, making him sigh in relief and stood up straight. Looks like the plan worked. He heard footsteps and felt it was his clone that handed him his cane/sword. Kakashi raised a brow at the boy's words. And what do you mean by that? Instead of answering, he dug in his pocket and pulled out the two bells, jingling them in his hand. Kakashi's eyes widened and he moved his hand to both sides of his pants and realized that indeed he didn't have the bells strapped to him anymore. It was when I was pretending to be asleep, Naruto told him. The second you were close enough to me, I used my sword to cut the bells off from the side of your pants, making them fall to the ground. I picked them up and stuffed them in my pocket once I heard them fall to the ground. Kakashi blinked at the explanation. Then why did you engage in a fight with me if you already had the bells? To distract you so you wouldn't notice the bells were gone from the side of your pants, and it worked. You didn't notice until just now, he said. The jounin couldn't help but feel impressed despite being outsmarted by a genin. I see. Well done then. By the way, Sasuke and Sakura, you two can come out of hiding now. Naruto felt the urge to slap his forehead with his hand. He forgot all about them. He dispelled his clone and sighed at the fact he forgot about his own teammates, but in his defense he was concentrating on fighting. Maybe I should go find Yamato-sensei and ask him to spar with me again. We haven't sparred for a while now. He thought as he heard his teammates walk towards them. He felt their eyes on him but couldn't see their reactions when he used Mokutan and didn't really feel like explaining things either. Kakashi saw the looks the two of them were giving the boy and he couldn't blame them. Naruto just used Shodame's famous Mokutan Genkai. The only user he knew of who could use it was Tenzo, but now Naruto knows it. He made a mental note to ask the man how the boy managed to use it. Before I determine whether you three should pass or fail, can you tell me the reason for this test? Kakashi asked the two of them to stop looking at Naruto and look at him instead. Wasn't it to test our combat strength? Sakura questioned. Sasuke was thinking the same thing. Kakashi looked over at Naruto. Well, what do you think? Well, first off, Naruto gave one of the bells to Sasuke and the other to Sakura, taking them off guard. I thought it was strange that you only had 2 bells when there are only 3 of us, not to mention that if one of us fails to get the bells and fail the test, then we all fail and get sent back to the academy. Sasuke and Sakura froze when they heard his explanation, but after thinking about it, I realized the main point of this was for us to work together as a team, and not individually. The blonde concluded. Kakashi eyed him with a smile. Correct. Sasuke and Sakura looked at him in shock. That was the whole point of this test, and that was to work together as a team and look out for each other. And although you didn't work together as a team to attack me, you did show some signs of looking out for each other. For example, Naruto distracted me with his shuriken so he could get Sasuke to safety, and waited for me to leave to get to Sakura so he could take her to a safe location. That's what it means to look out for one another. Do not abandon your comrades. He smiled from underneath his mask. Those who break the rules are trash, but those who abandon their friends are worse than trash. Remember that. Naruto nodded his head, while Sasuke and Sakura looked thoughtful. And on that note, you all pass, Kakashi announced. Sakura smiled. Sasuke put his hands in his pockets, closing his eyes, and Naruto simply blinked. You can all go home and relax, for tomorrow we begin starting missions. Dismissed. Kakashi told them to disappear in a swirl of leaves. Naruto was the first to leave, wanting to get some lunch, when a voice stopped him. Hey? Sasuke called out. Naruto stopped but didn't turn around. What? Where did you learn that? Sasuke questioned. That? Mokutan. Sakura was just as curious but didn't have the courage to ask the blonde. Unlike Sasuke, you don't need to know. Naruto walked away from them. He wasn't sure why he was asking about how he learned Mokutan, but knew telling him would be bad. I hope he doesn't make this a habit. Little did he know his teammate would keep asking the same question until he got an answer. Hokage Tower. Hiruzen had Kurenai and Asuma in his office after they got done testing their students. Now all they had to do was wait on Kakashi. Yamato and Iruka were there as well, just waiting. In a swirl of leaves he arrived and stood on Asuma's other side. Yo. He greeted me. Now that you're all here, report. Hiruzen ordered. Kurenai spoke first. Kurenai, he reported that Team 8 had passed. Asuma spoke next. Asuma Saratobi reported that Team 10 had passed. Kakashi was the last one. Kakashi Hatake reported that Team 7 had passed. That took the occupants in the room by surprise, but Yamato smiled proudly that Naruto passed Kakashi's test. Well, this is rare. So which one of them figured out the true purpose of the test? Naruto or Sasuke? Asuma asked. Naruto. Kakashi responded. Yamato kept his proud smile. He figured out what the true purpose of the test was, and it was because of him the whole team passed. Sasuke was only focused on trying to take me down, trying to prove he was superior to his teammates, and Sakura was only concerned about Sasuke. Kakashi reported. Kurenai shook her head in disappointment. That girl is a disgrace as a kunoichi. Hate to say it, but so is Ino. Asuma agreed. She'll only work seriously if she's put in a situation where it forces her to take her duties as a kunoichi seriously. So far only Hinata and Guy's girl are the only proper kunoichi around here. Iruka couldn't help but sigh at himself. Such good talent they have. If only they weren't so obsessed with Sasuke, then the two of them would be the top kunoichi in the village, but so far only Hinata and Guy's girl fit that profile. Naruto meanwhile distracted me so he could free Sasuke from my Doton, Shinjuzanshu no Jutsu, Earth Release, Double Suicide Decapitation Technique, and got Sakura out of harm's way when I used Megan, Narukami no Jutsu, Demonic Illusion, Hell Viewing Technique, on her, and she passed out. Kakashi continued. Asuma snorted at the mention of Earth style he used on Sasuke. Oh god, he would have loved to see that. Kurenai rubbed her temples when she heard Sakura passed out after Kakashi used a simple D-rank genjutsu on the girl. It would take something serious to wake this girl up and bring her back to reality. I'm not surprised, Yamato smiled. I've been with Naruto since he was a kid and he's always put others' well-being above his own. Iruka smiled. He does, doesn't he? His kenjutsu skills could still use some work, but I'll admit it that it caught me off guard. Kakashi admitted. Wait, hold a minute. You mean to tell me the kid fought you one-on-one? Asuma looked at him. Kinda. He was distracting from the fact he got the bells from me when I let my guard down. Kakashi rubbed the back of his head. Yamato smirked, making Kakashi narrow his eyes at him. Really? I didn't see a sword on the kid. Asuma commented. It's in his walking stick, Yamato told them. It's a long sword disguised as a simple walking stick. That's clever and useful. Kurenai said. I agree, Kakashi agreed. When I was done dealing with Sakura, I found him sleeping against a tree and thought he wasn't taking the test seriously, so I intended to make him see how serious the situation was. But it turns out that was a trap, and when I was close enough, he took a swing at me with his sword and cut the bells right off from me and engaged me one-on-one to make sure I didn't notice they were gone. I only noticed I didn't have them with me when the test was over. Losing your touch, senpai? Yamato smiled. Kakashi gave him a warning glare. So he's good at formulating plans too, huh? He and Shikamura should get together sometime. Asuma said, impressed. That's not all. Kakashi's tone turned serious, getting their attention, wondering if something else happened. Hokage-sama. Tenzo. Why didn't you tell me Naruto has the Mokuton? Asuma's cigarette fell out of his mouth. Kurenai's eyes went wide, and Iruka was speechless. Yamato and Hiruzen looked at each other, then back at Kakashi. So? He used it in front of you then, did he? Hiruzen said. You mean it's true? Iruka stared at the Hokage. Yamato narrowed his eyes on Kakashi. I told Naruto not to use it unless the situation calls for it. What do you think the council would do if they found out he has the Mokuton? Kakashi closed his eyes. I see your point, but it would have been good to know. I don't see why you should know, Yamato countered. I regret not telling Iruka, but I see no reason why you should know at all. Kakashi and Tenzo had electricity coming from their eyes, forcing Iruka to intervene while Asuma and Kurenai watched with interest. Hiruzen sighed. That's enough, both of you, he ordered Kakashi. I'm sorry for not informing you, but I wanted to protect Naruto, and so did Yamato, so we agreed to keep it to ourselves and told Naruto to use it for emergencies only. Please try to understand. Kakashi stared at the man. I understand, Hokage-sama. Good. Is there anything else you'd like to report? No, nothing else, sir. I see, then you're all dismissed. Hiruzen told them. Asuma and Kurenai left the office, leaving Kakashi, Iruka, and Yamato in the office. I take it you'll be doing D-rank missions tomorrow then? Yamato questioned. Yeah, Naruto won't complain about it, but I don't know about Sasuke Uchiha. Yamato frowned. Iruka was inclined to agree. Kakashi sighed. You have no idea. Chapter 5, Nami no Kuni. Kakashi sighed as he spoke into the receiver. This is Silver. Is there any visual on the target? This is Cherry Blossom, and the target has been spotted. Sakura answered. This is Broader. Target has been spotted. Sasuke all but growled out at the stupid codename Kakashi picked out for him. This is Blondie. The target has been spotted. Naruto wondered if Kakashi was giving them these codenames just for fun. If that's the case, then are they okay? Then engage, he ordered. Sakura was the first to make a move and pounced on the cat, grabbing it securely in her arms as Sasuke landed next to her. The pink-haired girl saw the red bow on its ear. Target captured. Confirmed to be the cat Tora. She missed the gleam in the cat's eye and as such was unprepared as it scratched her right in the face, making her drop the cat. Sasuke tried to capture it before he too was scratched in the face by the mean cat before it took off into the bushes, leaving the two genin to rub their faces. That damn cat. Sasuke cursed. It ran into those bushes over there. Sakura said. Cha. That cat's gonna pay for scratching my face. Inner Sakura cracked her knuckles. Cherry Blossom Brooder report. Where is the target? Kakashi questioned the receiver. Sasuke answered. Target has escaped and ran off into the bushes. I repeat. The target has escaped and ran off into the woods. Requesting to pursue the target? Permission granted. Follow and capture the target Tora. Kakashi ordered. The two genin ran after the demonic feline that had the nerve to scratch their faces while also wondering what their other teammate was doing. Why wasn't he helping? What the hell is that done doing? Sasuke growled. He better not be slacking off and making us do all the work. Sakura added. Running for a little while more, they stopped when they spotted the still form of the cat, and were surprised to see why the cat stopped moving. Naruto was currently scratching the cat underneath its chin, making it purr in content at the contact while his shadow clone watched in amusement. Well, so much for you being a little terror, huh? Meow Tora said, smiling in relaxation. Sakura and Sasuke stared in utter disbelief. The demonic cat scratched their faces without hesitation, yet it was docile with Naruto of all people. How is that even fair? Report. What's going on? Kakashi questioned. Sasuke slowly brought his hand up to his ear. Naruto had captured the target. I repeat, Naruto has captured the target. Understood. Good work. Kakashi said. Naruto gave his walking stick over to the clone he just created and picked the cat up slowly, feeling around to make sure Tora was still in front of him. See, when it comes to animals and him being blind, sensing them is kinda hard because they move around a lot, especially cats. So when they were given the mission to capture Tora, aka the Hellcat, he cursed inwardly, having heard horror stories from Yamato-sensei about the cat. It runs incredibly fast and likes to scratch people's faces, so he was worried the cat would do the same to him when he and his shadow clone jumped down from the tree to cut it off, only to hear the cat meow, making him confused. The cat just rubbed up against his leg, making him tilt his head in confusion. He thought the cat hated everybody. Slowly bending down, he rubbed the cat's head, making it meow cutely. Smiling at the acceptance, he moved to scratch the cat's chin, making it purr. He wondered why the cat liked him so much, but hey, it made it easier to catch the cat and end the mission quickly, so kill two birds with one stone. Kakashi appeared next to his students and saw Naruto holding Tora, who was completely docile and made no attempt to scratch the boy whatsoever, making him blink. I've never seen that happen before. Maybe Naruto has the ability to tame wild animals. Naruto walked over to them, sensing they were standing in front of him with his shadow clone following him, and smiled. Tora captured. I see that, and you've got the best time out of all the rookies, Kakashi told them. Our best time is 2 minutes. So there's a best time to capture Tora, huh? Interesting. Naruto rubbed the cat's head, making it purr and snuggle in his arms, making Sakura and Sasuke send glares at the cat. Still pissed off, it clawed at their faces. They were hoping bad things would happen to the damn feline. Hokage Tower. Tora! The daimyo's wife yelled in happiness at seeing her cat and barreled right towards it, only for the feline to hiss at her and climb on top of Naruto's head, still hissing, making Hiruzen smirk. Iruka to hold his mouth, trying not to laugh, and Kakashi smiling in amusement. Looks like Tora prefers Naruto over his own owner. Sasuke and Sakura still couldn't believe the cat was so attached to their blind teammate, and wondered if he had some kind of special power that was controlling the damn feline. Tora, it's me, mommy. Don't you recognize me? She asked sadly. Tora merely hissed, not wanting the woman anywhere near it, making the blind sweat drop. While I appreciate the affection, I can't keep a cat that doesn't belong to me. Slowly he moved his arms up towards his hand, grabbing the cat gently, and rubbed its head. I appreciate the fact that you like me and all, but your owner was really worried about you and missed you a lot, so can you please go home with her? He couldn't see the cat's expression, but he was sure that it was looking pretty sad that he had to go back to its owner, and didn't struggle when Naruto held his arms out so she could take her cat back. Here you are, ma'am. She took Tora from him with a smile. Thank you so much, young man. You have such a kind heart. You have no idea. Iruka and Hiruzen thought. And with that, the woman bowed towards the Hokage, then thanked Team 7 before she left with the hissing cat. Sasuke and Sakura didn't even feel bad for the feline, hoping the woman suffocated it to death. Naruto dispelled his shadow clone as soon as it gave him his cane back. Hiruzen coughed into his fist. Well done, Team 7. Out of all the rookies, you three have the best time record when it came to capturing Tora. You should feel proud about that. The cat isn't exactly very friendly, as you can see, and yet it was friendly towards Naruto. Kakashi smiled, making the blonde raise an eyebrow at the comment. Well then, Hiruzen took out some stacks of paper. There are some more D-rank missions for you to take. One is to take care of some pups for the Inuzuka clan. Take care of some fawn for the Nara clan. Excuse me, Hokage-sama, but we need better missions, Sasuke interrupted. Giving us these minuscule D-rank missions won't help us improve our skills at all. Sakura didn't voice it, but she thought the same thing as Sasuke did. Naruto felt the urge to roll his eyes. Sasuke, you are a genin that just graduated from the academy. You're not ready to take on higher missions yet. Iruka scolded the boy, not pleased he would demand a higher mission. Naruto didn't really mind the D-rank missions at all, honestly, but Sasuke, ever the arrogant person he is, would want to take a higher mission. For some reason he was getting a bad feeling about today and wasn't sure why. Was it because of this? Anyway, he knew Sasuke would probably pester the old man for a higher mission, so he decided to just get it over with. Walking over to the desk and moving around it carefully, he lowered down to whisper something in the old man's ear, making sure it was low enough so no one would hear what he was about to say. The other occupants in the room watched as Naruto whispered something in the Hokage's ear, making them somewhat curious. They saw the old man's eyes widen to the size of dinner plates with whatever Naruto told him, and he took out a piece of paper from his desk, looking it over quickly. The blonde moved back over to his team, standing next to Sasuke, who, like his teammates Sakura and Sensei Kakashi, were curious to know just what the heck did he say to the old man. There's an escorting mission available for all of you that's C rank, Hiruzen told them. Your mission is to escort the client Tazuna back to Nami no Kuni. You can come in now. The door opened and Naruto's nose was assaulted by the smell of alcohol coming off from the man, making him frown. He completely reeks of alcohol. Tazuna stared at the group. Is this it? Hick. I was expecting a capable ninja. Hick, not some emo kid, skinny pink-haired girl who looks like she hasn't worked out a day in her life, and some blonde-haired brat who needs to use a cane to help him walk. As soon as he finished, he was assaulted with killing intent coming from Iruka, Kakashi, and Hiruzen, making him freeze in place without reaching for his sake bottle. I assure you, Tazuna-san, these three are fully capable of protecting you. I myself am a jounin and are more than enough to help assist with the mission, as are my students, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki. You have our word. Kakashi frowned at the man, not appreciating him insulting his students, especially Naruto. Though he was right about Sasuke and Sakura, Tazuna simply nodded his head, unable to speak while also wondering where he'd heard the name Uzumaki from, while Sasuke and Sakura were a little shaken up by the killing intent the three men in the room were sending throughout the room. The only reason Naruto didn't feel frightened was because he felt the old man's killing intent before, and it was on the day he lost his sight. Nothing scarier than a docile old man becoming vicious with a flip of a switch. Hiruzen sighed to calm himself down. That's all, Tazuna-san, you can leave now. These three will be escorting you back home tomorrow. The man nodded and quickly left. Smart move. Naruto, a word please. Hiruzen called the boy over, prompting the blind to move back over to him again. As the blonde bent down, the old man whispered something in his ear and the blonde responded in kind, making the old man's eyes widen and bash his head on the desk. I see. So it was that simple all along. Yep. Naruto nodded, confusing everyone in the room. Hiruzen sent a wave at them. That's all, you can leave now. Kakashi bowed and left the office right along with his students while Iruka was curious about something. Hokage-sama? What is it? He mumbled. What was it that you and Naruto were whispering about? The man wondered. Hiruzen lifted his head from the desk. It was about the secret. Secret? Yes, the secret to defeat my paperwork. Hiruzen brought both hands together. And that is? Iruka blinked. Hiruzen closed his eyes before opening them dramatically. Shadow clones. Iruka fell over comically. Team 7 had gathered near the gate waiting for their sensei, who swore he wouldn't be late and meet them at the gate along with the client Tazuna, who was also waiting. Is your teacher always this late? Tazuna asked. He is. Sakura told him. Humph. Sasuke scoffed. Naruto simply closed his eyes. Tazuna looked over at the blonde curiously. There was just something about his last name that seemed so familiar, but he couldn't put his finger on it. What was it? He's here, the blonde said, opening his eyes. Not long after he said that, Kakashi appeared in a swirl of leaves. Yo, you're late. Sakura practically screeched, making Tazuna, Sasuke, Izumo, and Kotetsu cover their ears. They noticed Naruto and Kakashi hadn't covered their ears and soon found out why, because both of them took earplugs out their ears, causing the two chunin to fall over comically while also thinking the same thing. Why didn't we think of that? The two thought. Right, let's get going then, shall we? Kakashi's eyes smiled. They all walked through the gate and down the road until they were further away from the gate that they couldn't see anymore. Kakashi was hanging from the back, Sakura on Tazuna's left, Sasuke on the right, and Naruto in front. It amazed him that they can come together on missions without taking notice so easily, yet when it comes to working together outside of missions they want nothing to do with each other. As they were walking down the road, Naruto noticed two chakra signatures were up ahead, but it felt like they were hidden in a form of a disguise, making him wonder, well, it's not a tree, otherwise it wouldn't be in front of us. Could be a rock or a puddle, but my guess is a puddle. When he thought about it, camouflaging as two puddles was pretty clever except for two things. One, it hasn't rained in over a week, and two, it's painfully obvious. As soon as they all walked past the puddles, with Kakashi being the last to walk past the puddles, the ninjas hiding in the puddles acted. Kakashi found himself wrapped in chains and cut in half. Kakashi-sensei! Sakura screamed. That's one. One of the ninjas said and went straight for Naruto, cutting the blonde in half as well, only to be taken by surprise because it was a log he cut up and not the real thing. What? Senko, flash. As soon as the ninja turned around, Naruto, who was behind him, lashed the man, making a very deep cut that would soon kill him if he didn't get medical treatment. The blonde felt that his sword technique had improved since the time he used it against Kakashi during their test. Thank God he practiced some more with the technique. You little brat. The other ninja was kicked in the jaw by Sasuke, preventing him from getting to the blonde, and as soon as the man lost balance, Sasuke acted quickly to finish him off. Rat, tiger, dog, ox, rabbit, tiger, katan, Hozenka no jutsu, fire style, phoenix flower jutsu. He sent fireballs at the ninja and watched as the flames engulfed him, hearing him cry out in pain before he collapsed, his body burned and unconscious. Naruto swung his blade to the side, knowing he got blood on it, and sheathed it back. You can come out of hiding now, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi jumped down from a tree he was watching from and smiled. Ah, good job sensing me, Kakashi-sensei. Sakura cried out in relief. If you were there watching us the whole time, why didn't you help? Sasuke demanded. Well, I knew you could handle them and I was right. Kakashi looked over at the blonde. Naruto, good job in incapacitating your enemy. You too, Sasuke. Sakura, you got in front of the client to protect him. Good job. Naruto made no response to the praise and simply nodded. Sasuke scoffed. Sakura smiled. The ninja that Naruto sliced was still breathing and spoke. How did you know? It hasn't rained in over a week, that's how. Naruto stated the obvious. That, and I sensed there were 2 chakra signatures before us, but they were using A to hide themselves from view. I just couldn't figure out if it was either a rock or a puddle. But I guess right with the puddle. The ninja stared at the boy. Why you? You're completely blind. Naruto made no comment. Wait, he's blind? Tenzo exclaimed. He is. Kakashi confirmed. But how is he able to? It's best not to think about it. The Jounin told him, then glared. Now then, I think it's time you tell us what's really going on here, Tazuna-san. What do you mean? The man shivered. He means the real reason why you lied about the mission. Naruto said, I can feel your emotions, nervousness and fear. But fear is the strongest. Tazuna stilled. He can feel other people's emotions? Not to mention that these 2 here are the demon brothers of the mist. They're Chunin. I wanted to determine who they were after, seeing as how I have quite the reputation amongst the other villages, and was fully prepared to intervene if I felt my students couldn't handle it. But judging by your reaction, why they started to attack, it confirmed they were indeed after you. He concluded. Tazuna gulped. Well? Kakashi was pressured. Oh, okay. I'll tell you the truth. Tazuna sighed. Nami no Kuni is on the verge of financial ruin because of that rat bastard Gato. Gato? Sakura questioned. I know that name. He's some businessman that founded the Gato company. But rumor has it that he's doing something else that no one knows about. Like selling drugs and human trafficking. Naruto remembered hearing about him from one of the foreign merchants from Iron Country. He mentioned that the samurai there had caught wind of drug smuggling connected to the man, and they were dealt with. In other words, killed. Smuggling drugs in a town that's known for their samurai wasn't really smart on their part at all. Yeah, that bastard is practically sucking the life out of us. We don't have that much money, and I was only able to afford a C-rank mission to send to you. Tazuna bowed. Please help us. Kakashi gave the man an impassive look. This mission just turned into an A-rank mission. This is beyond my genin who are fresh out of the academy. By all means we should be heading back, Sakura agreed. They were just fresh genin, they had no experience in dealing with ninjas like these. No, that wasn't true at all. Naruto and Sasuke didn't hesitate to take them down, and weren't even afraid, but she was. While protecting Tazuna, her legs were shaking. She didn't think she'd be forced to fight real experienced ninjas so soon. Naruto felt the urge to sigh. He knew the bad feeling he had yesterday was a sign, but he ignored it, and instead thought it was just him being paranoid, but it looks like he was wrong. Maybe next time I should listen the next time I get a bad feeling. He thought, if we don't stop Kakashi, we can still continue the mission. Sasuke spoke up. Kakashi and Sakura looked over at the Uchiha in surprise while Naruto sighed, getting their attention. I think it's a bad idea and we should head back, but Sasuke's right. Besides, we already took down the demon brothers, which means they'll just send somebody else stronger to get the job done. Might as well finish what we've started. He couldn't believe he was agreeing to this in the first place, but they took down 2 assassins, and they'll just end up sending more regardless if they abort the mission or not. Kakashi was surprised Naruto was agreeing with Sasuke. From the interactions he saw from the 2, the blonde tended to avoid Sasuke like the plague, not wanting to be near him for too long, which confused him. Sasuke, on the other hand, watched the blonde like a hawk, wanting to see his every move, as though trying to figure out some missing pieces of a puzzle he just couldn't figure out. It was no secret that the Uchiha considered the blonde his rival, but the feeling wasn't mutual for Naruto. The blonde showed no interest whatsoever in being a rival for anyone, and just wanted to be left alone. Maybe a team spar could help with things? Sasuke was surprised the blonde agreed as well as Sakura. Was he trying to be more social towards them now? Kakashi-sensei, what do you want to do? Naruto asked. The Jounin blinked, then looked at his students. Looks like my students have a point. We've already started the mission. Why not finish it? Tazuna had a grateful look on his face. Thank you. Don't thank me, thank my students. Kakashi told him. Naruto wondered, what should we do about the demon brothers? The one I heard is starting to breathe slowly. Kakashi got a dark look in his eye, and went over to pick the burnt one next to him up, hefting him over his shoulder, and did the same for the other one before going off into the woods. Sakura was confused, then saw Naruto had his earplugs out again. What are you doing? He didn't answer her and put them in his ears. He heard the man drag them into the forest, and didn't need to hear this. Not yet anyway. Sakura meanwhile got her answer when she heard a blood-curdling scream coming from the direction Kakashi dragged the two ninja. She felt frightened, not wanting to know what her sensei could be doing to those two. Sasuke felt his blood run cold when he heard them scream, not having it in him to move. Tazuna didn't even want to imagine what the man was doing to those two ninjas and simply covered his ears. Naruto opened his eyes back up but still kept his ears plugged in just in case, but secretly was too afraid to take them out, not wanting to hear them scream. At some point he'll probably take a life himself, but right now he doesn't want to think about it. Team 7 was currently taking a boat courtesy of Tarzan's friend. They had to be quiet though because they were sneaking inside Nami no Kuni without being detected. Tazuna was sitting next to the jounin and saw that the pink-haired girl and black-haired boy were sitting across from them while the blonde was sitting at the end of the boat away from his teammates. What was it about this kid that bothered him so much? Was it the fact that he found out the kids were blind but could still fight? Or was it his last name? His last name. Leaning closer to Kakashi, he whispered in the man's ear, "Hey, that kid's last name is Uzumaki, right?" Kakashi raised a brow. Yes. The man's eyes widened and looked back over to the blonde. Hair color aside, if he was truly an Uzumaki then he should be able to enter the Forbidden City. Before he could think more on the subject the boat stopped and they all got out of the boat. "Thanks, old friend." Tazuna thanked me. "No problem, just take that rat bastard down for us," the boatman said, rowing away. "Let's go," Kakashi said, and they all followed the jounin, staying close together especially when a dog started to settle in. "What's with this fog?" Sakura wondered while looking around. "Not sure." Tazuna was starting to get a bad feeling. Naruto's senses were going haywire, practically screaming that something wasn't right, making him grip his sword. Thanks to his enhanced hearing he heard rustling in the bushes and threw a kunai in the direction where he heard it from, getting everyone's attention. The blonde walked over to the noise and bent down, moving his hand around trying to find what he hit, and finally touched something that felt like fur and grabbed it. He rubbed the stilled animal, feeling where the kunai was on its side, and felt the animal around its ears a little more, touching its ears, feeling they were long. So it was a rabbit then. He walked back over to his team and Sakura saw the dead animal in his hand. Naruto Baka. How could kill something so defenseless? He walked right past her and towards Kakashi, lifting it by its ears before him. "What color is it?" "White." Naruto tilted his head. "I wasn't aware rabbits' fur become white in this time of season." Kakashi eyed the rabbit carefully. "You have a point. It's normally the winter season." Sasuke and Sakura looked at each other. "What are you two talking about? You don't see rabbits' fur like this very often in the wild," meaning this little guy was kept indoors, making it domestic. Kakashi explained. Naruto's senses were going haywire again, getting his attention. He then heard a whizzing sound that was coming at them fast. "Get down!" The blonde went over to his teammates, yanking them to the ground while Kakashi grabbed Tazuna, yanking him down on the ground with him as well. It was a good thing they got down when they did, because a massive blade whizzed past their heads and embedded in the tree behind them. Not soon after that a man appeared standing on the blade. He was a tall man that had short black hair, wearing no shirt, sporting gray pants, with a white mask covering half his face. Hanging on the side of his head was a headband with the Kirigakure insignia on it. The man laughed eerily. "No wonder the demon brother lost. Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja. I never thought I'd meet you here of all places. Looks like this'll be fun." Kakashi stood up, as did his students and Tazuna. "Zabuza Momochi, or should I say Kirigakure no Kaijin, demon of the hidden mist? So you were hired to kill Tazuna as well, it seems." Naruto's eyes widened when he heard the name of the man, Zabuza Momochi. One of the Kiri no Shinobigatana Shishinin Shu, 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. No wonder this guy's chakra felt so bloodthirsty. This person was Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. He remembered Yamato-sensei giving him the rundown on some missing nin as well as those in the bingo book as part of his training to prepare him for the real world. According to him, Zabuza earned the title Kirigakure no Kijin, demon of the hidden mist, because he practically acted like one and he could sense it very clearly. This guy is dangerous. Going up against him would be suicidal. It's better to let Kakashi handle him. First the C rank mission becomes A rank, now Zabuza Momochi shows up. This is just great, he thought. Zabuza grinned under his mask. "You know about me, kid?" "Well damn, I'm honored." "They teach you about me in the academy?" "No, personal teaching for me." Naruto told him to try to keep calm. Zabuza jumped down from his blade and yanked it out of the tree, hefting it over his shoulder. "I like you, kid. Maybe I'll let you live and just kill the other two." Naruto didn't even know how to respond to that. "How do you know who he is?" Sasuke demanded. "Personal education," the blonde answered. Kakashi made a mental note to grill Yamato about teaching Naruto about stuff like this later. "You three stand back and protect Tazuna. This man is an A-rank new Knin from Kirigakure, said to have fled for the failed assassination of Mizukage. He's on a whole other level, I'll handle him. F failed to kill the Mizukage. Sakura was really scared now. We can handle him, Sasuke stated arrogantly. Like hell we can, Naruto thought. Was he trying to get himself killed? Well, isn't that cute, Zabuza mocked. The little brat thinks he's a real ninja. Don't mock me, I'll show you the power of the Uchiha. Sasuke glared at the man. Zabuza laughed. You mean that worthless clan that got their asses killed by one of their own? Yeah, I'm really shaking here. Sasuke growled and clenched his fists. The only thing he didn't charge at him was because Naruto gripped his shoulder tightly, bringing him back to reality. Once the blonde felt he had lost some of his rage, he let go of his shoulder. Sasuke may be intolerable, but he didn't want him to die. Kakashi lifted his headband, making Zabuza grin. Ho? I get to see the Sharingan so soon? I'm flattered. Sharingan? But how? He's not an Uchiha. Is he? Sasuke thought as he stared at the Jounin. Sharingan? Sakura questioned. A dojutsu genkai that belongs to the Uchiha clan, Sakura. I'm surprised you don't know that, Naruto informed her. She didn't even have it in her to retort because deep down she knew he was right. Zabuza made the first move, Ox Snake Ram, Kirigakyu no Jutsu, Ninja Art, Hidden Mist Jutsu. A mist soon started to spread and surround them, thickening quickly to the point where they couldn't see Zabuza anymore. Naruto sensed that the mist was filled with chakra, which explains why it was so thick. 8 points, Zabuza's voice said eerily as though it was inhuman. Larynx, spine, lungs, liver, jugular, subclavian artery, kidneys, heart. Which one will be my point? I like them all. Naruto felt like he was having a sensory overload with all the ki Zabuza was releasing. It was making his heart pound a little faster than normal, but he was able to keep himself standing. He didn't understand why. Maybe it was because he knew that if he let his guard down for even a second he could be killed and had to focus. Sasuke was feeling the opposite of Naruto. What is this feeling? It's so intense that it's making me shake. He slowly brought a hand up holding a kunai to his neck. It almost makes me want to end it right here and now so that I won't have to experience it anymore. He felt a hand on his wrist, making him turn to the blonde, who looked like he was concentrating to counteract the ki that was being sent their way. The blonde slowly brought his wrist down, then let go without saying a word. Sasuke, Kakashi got the boy's attention. Don't worry, I'll protect you with my life. He turned to smile at him, making him calm down completely. Is that so? Zabuza appeared before the genin and Tazuna, about to swing his sword to cut them all in half, but Kakashi rushed towards him burying a kunai in the man's side. When he pulled it out, he saw that water was flowing out instead of blood. Mizubunshin? Naruto and Kakashi taught at the same time. The blonde didn't see it, but he heard the sound of water. Sensei, behind you! Sakura yelled. Before Kakashi could turn behind him, he was cut in half with Zabuza's blade. You should never expect it to be that easy, Kakashi. His eyes widened when he realized it was a water clone, then felt a kunai point at his throat. You should take your own advice, Zabuza, Kakashi said. Sakura breathed a sigh of relief. Thank God, Sensei's okay. I can't see it, but I can sense how the battle's going. Something tells me they were just getting warmed up. The real battle starts now, Naruto thought. Zabuza couldn't help but snort at the remark. So you managed to copy my Mizubunshin while you made that little speech of yours in the mist, huh? Not bad. It's over, Kakashi said, bringing the kunai closer to his neck. Zabuza chuckled darkly, putting everyone on edge. You really think I'd be beaten by a copycat like you? Think again, another Zabuza said from behind. Kakashi cut the one in front of him only to reveal another water clone. Another clone? Sakura yelled. Her yelling really isn't helping the situation. Naruto's eyes twitched. Zabuza kicked Kakashi through the air, making him land into the lake. Naruto, hearing this, turned his head in that direction. They moved towards water now. Kakashi struggled to get up from the water. Why is this water so heavy? Unless dash. Zabuza was behind him in an instant. Snake ram horse hair, Suiro no jutsu, water style, water prison jutsu. Sticking his hand out, a water prison appeared around Kakashi, trapping him inside. There's no point in trying to escape. This water's stronger than steel because of how dense it makes it, Zabuza explained. You won't be going anywhere anytime soon. He created a Mizubunshin that turned its sights on the genin and Tazuna. Kakashi-sensei's been captured. What do we do? Sakura freaked out. Isn't it obvious? We beat him and rescue Kakashi. Sasuke took a step forward. That's a bad idea, Naruto told him. Are you scared? Sasuke taunted. Maybe you didn't hear me earlier when I said this guy's one of the Kiri no Shinobigatana Shishinin Shu, 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. He's considered one of the best blade-wielding shinobi, just like the others. Going up against just one is suicidal, not to mention that sword of his Kubikuri Bocho, decapitating carving knife, isn't just for show. Naruto practically growled, trying to make him see just what kind of situation they were in. You can't take him on. Forget about me. Take Tazuna and run to safety. Kakashi yelled. Heh, it doesn't matter what they do. Why don't you just sit back and watch me kill your little brats, though I might take the blonde one with me as compensation. Zabuza grinned. Naruto felt a shiver run down his spine. Well, this is just great. One of the Kiri no Shinobigatana Shishinen Shu, 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, has taken a liking to me. The water clone attacked. Hisenkin, flying turn slash. It threw the sword at the genin and Tazuna, prompting Naruto to act. Grabbing Sasuke and pulling him back, he let go of his sword. Rat dog tiger, Mokuton, Mokujihiki, wood style, domed wall jutsu. A giant wood dome large enough to protect them all appeared and stopped the blade in its path, embedding it in the wood dome before disappearing in a puff of smoke. That was too close a call. If I had tried to block it with my sword, no, I don't want to even think about it. I need to think of a plan quickly to get Kakashi-sensei out of that water prison, and I might need Sasuke's help while Sakura protects the client. He thought. Tazuna looked around inside the dome in amazement. This is amazing. Sakura was inclined to agree but didn't say it out loud. She was just grateful that Naruto put the dome up when he did. Sasuke remembered this. It must be a defensive one that blocks powerful or physical attacks. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get Kakashi-sensei out of that water prison, but we need to take that water clone down first. Naruto finally spoke, having thought of a plan. Do you have something in mind? Tazuna wondered. Naruto stood up. I do. It involves me and Sasuke doing most of the work though. Fine with me. Sasuke said. Sakura felt a stab to the heart when he said that. Was he trying to say she was too weak to help? What's your plan? Tazuna questioned. Naruto took a deep breath. God, I hope this works. Okay, here's what I thought of. Meanwhile, outside the wood dome, Zabuza was taken by surprise while at the same time grinning like a psychotic maniac. That the blonde kid just used was the Mokuton. There's not a person alive who doesn't know about it. The famous Genkai of the Shodame Hokage of Konohagakure no Sato. Hashirama Senju. He couldn't help but laugh. You've been holding out, Kakashi. One of your brats has something interesting. Kakashi glared at the man and was about to say something when the wood dome was brought down and Sasuke engaged the Zabuza clone, going full taijutsu on it, sending kick to its head only for it to swing the boy in the air like a rag doll, but Sasuke managed to set himself right and attacked again. Rat tiger dog ox rabbit tiger, Katon, Hozenka no jutsu, fire style, phoenix flower jutsu. He sent rapid fireballs at the clone, and just when it was about to counter with water, it found itself unable to move. Looking down, it saw that it was bound by wood. It looked over at Naruto. The blonde had his hands together. Mokuton, Mokusatsu Shibari no jutsu, wood style, silent strangle jutsu. The clone eyes widened before it was dispelled because it got hit with the fire attack sent by Sasuke. Sasuke landed on the ground and did the same. Rat tiger dog ox rabbit tiger, Katon, Hozenka no jutsu, fire style, phoenix flower jutsu. He sent the same fire at the real Zabuza. Naruto was right behind him. This is gonna take up a lot of chakra, so I'm hoping that Kakashi-sensei is freed by then so he can take Zabuza down. I just hope I don't get too tired after I use this. I've only used it once, and it wasn't how I wanted it to be, but maybe it will work out this time around. Well, here goes. He made the hand signs: snake ram hair dog snake, Mokuton, Mokuria no jutsu, wood style, wood dragon jutsu. A wooden dragon appeared from underground and headed right towards Zabuza, while the fire Sasuke still had going moved around it almost in sync, forcing the Nuke-Nin to drop the water prison and use his blade to cut the dragon's head off while jumping away from the fireballs sent at him by Sasuke. When the attack stopped, he stared at the genin with his blade pointed at them. Not bad for a bunch of brats, but not good enough, Zabuza said. Naruto smirked, getting a confused look from the ninja. Plan successful. Before Zabuza could retort to that comment, he found himself kicked in his side and away from the genin. Getting his balance back on the water where he was standing, he saw Kakashi was free and finally got what the blonde brat was talking about. Damn brat. Looks like you underestimated my genin, Kakashi said. It's just you and me now. Sasuke was standing by Naruto, who looked a little winded but was able to stand thanks to Tazuna and surprisingly Sakura, who gave him back his ken to help him stay steady. It worked. Your plan really worked. Tazuna started. Naruto smiled a little, glad it did, otherwise we'd be in real trouble right now. Good job protecting Tazuna-san, Sakura. Why yeah? She said, feeling like she didn't deserve the compliment because she didn't do anything useful. The plan was for both Sasuke and Naruto to engage the water clone first. Then when that was done, they were to put Zabuza in a position where he would have no choice but to lower the water prison, thus freeing Kakashi. It's scary when a plan actually works, but in this case it was godsend that it did. Zabuza was staring at the genin, so I got taken off guard by two brats. No, he eyed Naruto. That one right there is something else. HM? He stared at the blonde a little while longer, and noticed something that took him of all people by surprise. Kakashi gave the man a warning glare. I suggest you stop staring at him right now because this will be your last day alive. We'll see. Zabuza started to make hand signs. Ox, monkey, hare, rat, boar, bird, ox, horse, bird, rat, tiger, dog, tiger, snake, ox, ram, snake, boar, ram, rat, yan, water, monkey, bird, dragon, bird, ox, horse, ram, tiger, snake, rat, monkey, hare, boar, dragon, ram, rat, ox, monkey, bird, yan, water, rat, boar, bird. Kakashi saw the hand signs and copied them. Ox, monkey, hare, rat, boar, bird, ox, horse, bird, rat, tiger, dog, tiger, snake, ox, ram, snake, boar, ram, rat, yan, water, monkey, bird, dragon, bird, ox, horse, ram, tiger, snake, rat, monkey, hare, boar, dragon, ram, rat, ox, monkey, bird, yan, water, rat, boar, bird. Suryuta no Jutsu, water style, water dragon jutsu. They both yelled at the same time and 2 water dragons appeared with yellow eyes before attacking at the same time, canceling each other out. WL. How powerful! Sakura stared. Kakashi and Zabuza clashed with kunai and blade before Zabuza tried to use the Kirigakure no Jutsu, ninja art, hidden miss jutsu, again and saw Kakashi was following his every movement, making him stop. It's as if he knows what I'm going to do next. Kakashi cut him off, making Zabuza's eyes widen. Is he reading my mind? He's looking right at me with that dash. His thoughts were cut off again. Freaky looking eyes. Kakashi cut him off again, almost as though he was reading his mind. Zabuza wasted no time and tried to form some hand signs before he stopped, his blood running cold when he saw a shadow of himself behind the Jonin. Is that me? Is this a genjutsu? Kakashi saw the hesitation and used that time to strike. Tiger, ox, monkey, rabbit, ram, boar, ox, horse, monkey, tiger, dog, tiger, snake, tiger, ox, monkey, rabbit, bird. Suetun. Daibakufu no Jutsu, water style, giant vortex jutsu. Water started to swirl around the ninja. What? But how? Zabuza didn't have time to dwell on it long because he was swept by the giant water vortex that thrashed him like some kind of ragdoll, tearing through the forest, tearing down any unfortunate trees that stood in its path. The Nuke-Nin stood up slowly as his body was soaked to the bone. He stared at Kakashi. You? Can you see into the future? Yes. Kakashi raised a kunai up, preparing to strike the defenseless Zabuza down. And your future is death. Before he slit the man's throat, 2 Senbon needles struck the man in the neck, making his eyes widen before slumping over dead. Another person made themselves known. Stepping out into the clearing was a young man wearing a white mask with red markings that had the symbol for Kirigakure on it. He had black hair with some of it in a white bun with 2 strands loose, wearing an outfit that stopped at his knees underneath a green haori with white edges and brown sash wrapped around the waist. You were right, the young spoke. He's dead now. Sakura's legs were shaking. Who's that? A hunter ninja from Kirigakure no Sato. Kakashi explained, walking over to Zabuza while at the same time keeping an eye on the young man. Pointing 2 fingers to the man's neck, he felt no pulse. He's dead. I've been tracking down Zabuza Momochi for a long time now and found this to be a golden opportunity. And here I was starting to think I'd never be able to complete my assignment. The young man said as he picked up the dead body of Zabuza, who had his blade strapped to his back. The young man bowed his head before disappearing. Naruto felt there was something off about the guy but didn't voice it out loud. He'd wait and see if his instincts were right on this one. His ears picked up a thump sound. I think Kakashi-sensei just passed out. Sasuke and Sakura ran over to him, while Naruto walked slowly, still a little exhausted from using that wood dragon jutsu from earlier. He felt Tazuna was helping him walk over to his sensei, which he found strange but didn't comment on it. Tazuna-san, can you carry our sensei for us? You got it, kid. Tazuna bent down and picked the man up, hefting him over his shoulder to keep him steady. My house isn't that far from here, it's about a half hour. I'll take you there, thanks. Naruto thanked me. Tazuna's house. Tsunami, I'm home. Tazuna announced as the genin helped open the door and all walked inside the house. A young woman with black hair appeared from the kitchen. Dad, you're home. Oh, do we have guests? Yes, there was a ninja that protected me on my way back here. Tazuna said, this is Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki. Her eyes widened when he said the blonde boy's last name and looked over at him. Sensing he was being stared at, he spoke, is there something wrong? And no, of course not. Please come inside. Oh, he doesn't look so good. Dad takes him upstairs. Tsunami told her father. Just then a little boy with a white cap wearing green overalls walked downstairs. Mom, who are these people? The boy eyed them. Oh, Inari, these are the ninjas that helped your Gigi get here safely. Say hello? She smiled. Inari glared at them. They're just going to die anyway. They should just leave. He ran back upstairs. Inari. Tsunami yelled. Sasuke's eyebrow twitched. Sakura looked mad. Who does that brat think he is? Naruto simply sighed. We should get Kakashi-sensei upstairs and let him sleep. Tazuna nodded and brought the man upstairs with the 3 genin following right behind him. Sasuke opened the door to the room, allowing Tazuna to bring the comatose Kakashi inside and laid him down on the futon. With his students gathered around the unconscious man, "You guys can sleep up here with him if you want. Looks like he's already asleep." The man looked over at Naruto, who was slumped near the window holding onto his cane and passed out. The man chuckled, getting a blanket out from the closet and placing it around the boy. Sakura rolled her eyes. "Honestly, how is he already asleep? Because he and the other boy did most of the work, and you didn't." Tazuna frowned at the girl. She felt as though someone just drove a kunai to her chest after hearing the client bluntly tell her she didn't pull her own weight during this mission. While it's true she protected Tazuna twice, but that wasn't saying much about her abilities as a kunoichi. What would she do if those ninjas weren't taken down by Naruto and Sasuke at the time, and one of them managed to slip past and come straight for her? What would she do? Stand there and be scared? Sasuke agreed with what Tazuna said. He and Naruto were basically the only one pulling their own weight into the mission, while all she did was look scared and ready to faint. Is she really even suitable at being a kunoichi? He didn't even know anymore. The next day Kakashi woke up feeling better after getting a night's rest and wondered where his students were. He heard the door open, making him look over to see who it was, and saw it was Naruto, who had his ken in one hand and a cup of tea in the other. "Naruto, you're awake then, huh?" the blonde said, walking in and making his way over to him, passing him the tea. "Here, Tsunami-san made it." Kakashi took it and brought his mask down to drink it. It was too bad Naruto couldn't see, because it would have been fun to tease him about what was underneath his mask. Having finished his tea, he looked over at his student. "Where are Sasuke and Sakura?" "Downstairs eating breakfast," Naruto told him. "When I finished mine, I came up here and brought some tea for you." "How thoughtful of you." Kakashi smiled. "If you say so." Naruto shrugged. The jounin gave the blonde a serious look. Engaging Zabuza like that was dangerous to Naruto. "Technically I didn't engage him, and besides it wasn't just me, Sasuke was there helping too. The plan was to go after the clone first, then try to dispel it. When that was done, we were to force Zabuza's hand in freeing you from the water prison." "It worked," Naruto told the jounin casually. Kakashi blinked. "You thought of a strategy in such a tense situation?" "Strategy? Well, I guess you can say that, but it involved me keeping calm, and that wasn't exactly easy. Being blind means my senses are sharper than most, and I can easily sense negative emotions in droves, like anger, hatred, jealousy, and killing intent being the worst of them all. Zabuza's killing intent was up there, but being around the old man, and having felt him at full force twice, I got used to feeling it. But still, Zabuza's was potent enough to force Sasuke into almost taking his own life, and making me just as uneasy," Naruto explained. Kakashi sat there and stared at his student as he explained himself. "Is he finally opening up to me? Anyway, I'm not arrogant enough to think I actually stand a chance against one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist. I'm surprised we even managed to trick him into freeing you from the water prison, but I doubt we'd be able to do it again," Naruto said. Kakashi didn't miss the "do it again" part of the sentence, and was about to ask when Sasuke and Sakura walked in. When they saw their sensei was awake, they were relieved, though Sasuke will try to deny it. "Kakashi-sensei, you're awake." Sakura was relieved to see he was okay and sat down near the futon. Sasuke sat on the other side. "I'm doing just fine, just needed some sleep." Kakashi smiled at his 2 students before his face became serious. "Now since you're all here, I feel you should know that Zabuza is still alive." "What?" Sakura yelled. Sasuke looked eager to go up against Zabuza again, and Naruto had his suspicions when he felt some chakra flows still going on in Zabuza. "How do you know?" Sakura questioned, hoping he was wrong. Kakashi looked over at Naruto. "Did you sense he was still alive even though he wasn't breathing anymore?" Naruto nodded. "I still felt some signs of life in Zabuza even though you said he was no longer breathing." "What was the weapon that Hunter Nin used?" "Saban." "Yeah, he's still alive. What are you two talking about?" Sasuke questioned. "My mentor told me that Saban needles put you in a death-like state if used in the right hands, especially if you get hit in the neck with them." Naruto explained what Yamato-sensei said when it came to working with different weapons. "That's right, it didn't even occur to me at the time because I was low on chakra and exhausted. Another red flag is that Hunter Nin disposes of the body by burning it, so there's nothing left. This one simply took Zabuza's body along with him as he disappeared," Kakashi stated. The 3 genin took the time to process what they were told. "How long do you think it'll take for Zabuza to come back for a rematch?" "I'd say about a week, which means you 3 need to train and guard Tazuna during the week we have to prepare," Kakashi told them seriously. Naruto didn't mind the training because he was thinking about doing some training himself while he was here. His sword skills could still need some work. Zabuza opened his eyes slowly and saw the face of his partner. "Did you have to stick them in my neck, Haku?" Haku merely chuckled. "My apologies, Zabuza-sama, But I believe it was the smartest move to make in your current situation. He closed his eyes. You saw right? Yes, the blonde one's Genkai took me by surprise. I was told that no one in the village showed any signs of having it since the death of their shodaime, so I was surprised. Haku expressed. Yeah. But that's not all I discovered about the brat. He's completely blind. He told the boy. Haku's eyes widened. Blind? But he didn't act as though he was. No shit. Back when I was still with the 7 swordsmen, there was a blind samurai from the land of iron that gave us a run for our money. There were mist ninjas with us at the time, but that didn't matter to the guy. Killed every last one of them in one single sword strike, the first time in my life I'd been scared of someone. A blind samurai is dangerous, but a blind ninja is a beast. I see. So he's our biggest threat then? Haku asked. Yeah, but I still like the kid, Zabuza admitted. Haku couldn't help but smile. The door opened and in came Gato along with 2 thugs. Well, look at this. So this is what the famous demon of the mist had been reduced to. He walked over to the bed about to touch him, when Haku grabbed his wrist, squeezing it tightly. Haku glared at the man. Keep your filthy hands off of him. Letting the man's wrist go, Gato rubbed his sore wrist. Just get the job done or else. He walked out along with his 2 guards. Zabuza opened his eyes. I'll be getting rid of that fat pig soon. I'll be sure to help assist when that time comes, Haku said. Kakashi had them outside where they were surrounded by trees. For some reason Naruto felt at peace here as soon as they came to Nami no Kuni. He couldn't explain it, but the feeling was not unwelcomed. Okay, for training today I'm going to teach you how to climb a tree. Kakashi smiled. Naruto's lips twitched in amusement because he already knew it, but Sasuke and Sakura were confused. Kakashi-sensei, we already know how to climb trees. Sakura was confused. Kakashi gave her an amused look. I didn't mean with your hands. He demonstrated by going over to a tree and walking up on it with just his feet and hanging upside down. I meant like this. Sasuke and Sakura couldn't believe it. They never learned that in the academy. Kakashi jumped down. Alright, your turn to try. The 3 of them got to work and started walking up the tree. Sakura and Naruto had no problems with the blonde having done it before with Yamato, but Sasuke had a hard time and fell due to poor chakra control. Well, it seems Naruto and Sakura have it down. Keep trying, Sasuke, Kakashi said. You can do it, Sasuke-kun. Sakura cheered, hoping he didn't hate her for being able to do it. Naruto simply jumped down and walked away, much to the confusion of his team. Going somewhere, Naruto? Don't worry about it, Naruto said, still walking away. Kakashi rubbed the back of his head. Trying as he might, he just couldn't figure out what goes on inside his head. How does Tenzo do it? Naruto had no reason to stay because he already knew how to do the tree climbing exercise anyway. So he simply went back to Tazuna's place, but he felt the man coming to him instead, making him stop. Tazuna-san? There you are. Tazuna stopped running to catch his breath. There's a place I want to take you to. A place? The blonde tilted his head in confusion. That's right, Tazuna said. Earlier. So his last name really is Uzumaki? Tsunami asked just to be sure. No doubt about it, his sensei confirmed it when I asked him. He could be one of them, Tazuna told her, but his hair colors are different. That doesn't matter. We finally have one of them here. If this works, then this proves their clan still lives through him, Tazuna said with determination. Tsunami thought about it, then nodded her head. Okay, take him straight to the temple, understand? Got it. Tazuna nodded. Now, Tazuna was leading Naruto towards the temple, but the blonde was unaware of this, and just simply followed the man without question. Naruto was curious as to where they were going though, and why he only wanted just him and not his whole team, but it must be something important if he only wanted him to come. Tazuna led the blonde towards the temple that was left by them all those years ago. Believe it or not, but Nami no Kuni and Yuzu no Kuni were trading partners until their village was destroyed. He saw the looks of the people and gave them a nod towards the blonde, making them stop what they were doing and look at the blonde with slight hope in their eyes. He was hopeful himself, hoping that he wasn't wrong. They stopped at a temple that had a moon and sun symbol on it. Naruto was feeling a pull as soon as they stopped and couldn't figure out why. Tazuna-san, where are we? We're at a temple that was created here a long time ago, but it was said that only the one to inherit all of Ninshu in a past life will be able to enter and bring peace to the world, Tazuna explained. Naruto didn't understand what that meant at all, but found his body moving all on its own towards the temple. As soon as he walked through the pillars, he disappeared before Tazuna, making the man's eyes widen. It worked. It worked. He's the one. Naruto felt something was different. Tazuna-san? Tazuna-san? He didn't hear from the old man and started to get on the defensive when a voice stopped him. Stay calm and walk ahead of you. The voice instructed me to sound like a male. Naruto froze when he inched for his sword. Who? Calm down, kid. Walk forward like the voice told you to. He heard Kurama's voice tell him calmly. Naruto was still a little skeptical but listened to Kurama and walked forward like he was told. Keep going straight ahead. I'll tell you when to stop. Naruto frowned. What's going on? And why does this voice sound familiar as though I've heard it before? Stop. Naruto stopped walking and listened to what I was going to tell him next. There are stairs before you, so walk carefully. The blonde walked slowly, feeling the urge to count the steps but didn't because of his current situation. He felt that he was on top of the stairs and listened to what he should do next. Walk forward and touch the statue before you. Naruto walked forward, moving his hand around to feel a statue that was supposed to be in front of him. And as soon as he touched something that felt like stone, he felt pain shoot through his head, causing him to cry out in pain. He felt images that didn't belong to him but someone else. A man with 2 horns on his head standing before 2 children. One with short, spiky brown hair. Another with long brown hair, the god tree, being named the inheritor of Ninshu, seeing the jealous rage of the person sitting next to him. The death of the man that named him the inheritor of Ninshu, a battle between the 2 males that nearly ended in death. A feud that's lasted through centuries. Ajura and Indra Otsutsuki. Having received too much information, he passed out unaware of his body glowing white. Figures wearing black hoods felt a warm and strong power radiating from somewhere, and knew what it meant. Do you feel that? Yes, the prophecy has been made true. The Uzumaki we've spent years waiting for has awakened. Then, the leader nodded seriously. Yes. We must find Uzumaki. Mindscape. Naruto felt comfortable. He wasn't sure why though, but it felt like he was laying on something nice and warm and snuggled into it, but froze when he heard it chuckle. Getting up quickly, had scampered away from whatever he was laying on. Who are you? He heard the person chuckle again. There's no need to be afraid of Naruto. You saw my memories, so you know who I am. The blonde blinked, then relaxed but was still slightly confused. Ajura. Ajura Otsutsuki. Ajura smiled. Yep. Nice to meet you. Likewise. He stuttered. Ajura chuckled. There's no need to be nervous around me. We are one and the same after all. Naruto was confused until he remembered something. A feud that's lasted through centuries. So you're saying that I'm you and you're me? Ajura nodded. That's right. The last reincarnation of me came in the form of your first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. What? I didn't know that. Naruto said. Not most would. Not even the Senju or Uzumaki clan knew why there was so much bad blood between them and the Uchiha clan, but mostly the Senju and Uchiha. Ajura explained. So it's true then. My clan really does exist. Naruto said. Wait, this feud that started between the Senju and Uchiha was because of you and Indra, Ajura said sadly, my older brother. He made the Uchiha clan while I created both the Senju and Uzumaki clan, though your clan mostly had red hair, making you the exception because of who your father is. Naruto didn't even know what to feel or say right now but found the will to speak. So, are the Uzumaki clan and Senju clan related? Yes, both clans became related to each other by blood because of the marriage between both Mito Uzumaki and Hashirama Senju. Both clans are my descendants, while the Uchihas are Indra's descendants. He explained. No way. So I'm related to Hashirama Senju? Naruto questioned. You are. Naruto smiled, having found out he was related to the first Hokage, but there was something else he wanted to ask. So your brother Indra created the Uchiha clan, meaning he was the first person to have the Sharingan? Technically father had the Sharingan, brother simply inherited it from him. Ajura smiled. But yes, he created the clan, and I'm afraid he was made to believe that power was everything instead of bonds. Bonds? Naruto, no matter what anyone else says, bonds are important. Ajura smiled, remembering his friends and his family. Naruto blinked. Bonds. He thought of Yamato, Hinata, Hokage Gigi, Iruka, Konohamaru, Tuchi, and Ayam. They were his bonds. Ajura smiled then frowned, moving forward, touching the boy's face, making him jump at the contact. I saw what has happened in your life from your childhood all the way up to now. Your sight was stolen by a villager who knew no better. You were forced to live in the dark without the light, but it didn't get your spirits down. You were taunted by the villagers, forced to listen to their cruel words, but you ignored them. They then ignored your existence, but that didn't bother you at all because of the bonds you have with those around you. Your heart was in pain, and though it has lessened, the pain still remains. You don't see Kurama as the incarnation of evil and gained both his trust and loyalty. Naruto was taken back. Why you? How do you know about Kurama? Ajura smiled. I know Kurama because he is my brother as well as the rest of the Biju. Biju? There are more of them out there. Naruto questioned. Kurama then decided to make his presence known. That's right, I never expected to see you inside Naruto, yet here you are. Ajura. Ajura smiled. Call me brother Kurama. We are family after all. Kurama blushed and looked away. What? Naruto was confused. My father Hagoromo Otsutsuki created the Biju to prevent the Jubi from being whole again. However, he would be saddened to see them like this. Captured and used as weapons when that's not what they are. They are living beings just like the rest of us. Azura frowned. Naruto felt the same as Azura. When he first met Kurama, he was surprised but then intrigued that something so big was inside of him. I don't see Kurama as something bad. When I first saw Kurama, I was surprised but then kinda happy because I finally had someone to talk to after being alone for so long. Kurama tells the best stories. Good thing Kurama's fur is orange, otherwise they'd be able to see the blush that was on his face. Azura smiled. I know, you two have looked out for each other. You even created this beautiful landscape for him inside your mind. You are truly kind. It's a shame the people of your village can't see that. There are a few who do, so it's fine. But I have a question, does the Mokutan originate from you? He wondered. Actually yes it does, I was the first to use it, then Hashirama, and now you. Azura smiled. Were you able to hear the voices of the trees and did they move or grow when you were around? Naruto questioned. Now that you mention it, that did happen a few times. Azura recalled. So it passes on from each reincarnation, meaning the Shodain could do it too. The blonde thought. Naruto, since you have Kurama sealed inside you, I want to tell you about the rest of my imprisoned siblings. Azura told him. Naruto nodded. There's the Achibi Shikaku, Nibi Matatabi, Sanbai Isabu, Yambi Son Goku, Gobi Koko, Rokubi Saiken, Nanabai Komiai, and Hachibi Gyuki. He named his siblings and tails. With Kurama the Kyubi makes all 9, but you mentioned the Jubi. Is it dangerous? Naruto questioned. Azura gave him a serious look. The Jubi is a representation of my grandmother, Kagura Otsutsuki. My father became its first Jinchuriki and split its chakra into 9 pieces so it would cause no further harm. Those 9 pieces were Kurama and his siblings. Naruto thought. The Jubi's power was very dangerous. That's why father and uncle sealed it away and hoped that it would never return again. Azura said. Uncle? Hamura Otsutsuki, he held the Byakugan. Azura said. He's Hinata-chan's ancestor. Naruto said in total shock. Azura nodded. Naruto, I have a favor to ask of you. What is it? I want you and Kurama to grow stronger together. Naruto and Kurama blinked. The man laughed. Well, a Jinchuriki is able to use a portion of their Biju's chakra, but I want you to have full control over Kurama's chakra, for I believe in the near future you will need it. Is it even possible? Naruto looked over at Kurama. Kurama stared at the blonde, then at Azura. I don't have a very high opinion of humans after they basically butchered their father's teachings and stole Naruto's sight. But I'll help Naruto with whatever he needs of me. I already gave him my name, that proves I trust him. Kurama. Naruto stared at the fox. Kurama grinned. Azura smiled at their interaction. When you feel like you're ready to try and sync with each other, then come back here to the temple. Oh, and before I forget. Since you have all of my memories stored within you now, you're able to use some of my abilities. I am? Azura nodded. Your major affinity is wind, but being my reincarnation and me awakening within you, you now have Yotan, Yang Release. Yotan, Yang Release? Its physical energy that governs vitality is able to breathe life into form. I know you can't see it, but you have a sun symbol for Yotan on your right palm. Being my descendant, you've had the ability to use it, it just wasn't awakened until now. Azura mentioned. I see. You are also a sensory type, and since you and Kurama already have a bond between you two, you can sense the negative emotions of others. And since you're a sensor, that means you have the Kanchi no Jutsu, sensory jutsu. Well, that explains how I can sense a person's chakra despite being blind. The blonde thought. Anything else? Naruto asked. I'll tell you when you come here and train to use Kurama's chakra. Azura smiled. Naruto and Kurama's sweat dropped. You're too carefree. I should send you back and you should wake up now. Azura rubbed the boy's head. I'll see you soon, Naruto. There was a bright light that blinded everything. Naruto woke up and felt like he had a headache, but the pain left just as quickly. Feeling around for his cane, he found it was right next to him, and grabbed it. Standing up slowly, he wondered which way to go to leave. I'll give you directions to Naruto. Azura smiled. You're still here? Naruto said in surprise. Of course. I know you can get around on your own just fine, but I still like to be helpful. Azura grinned. Naruto couldn't help but smile at himself. Tell me where to go then. Naruto was finally out of the temple and sensed a crowd before him, making him raise a brow. Am I surrounded by people, or is that just my imagination? He felt a slap on the back. No imagination, kid. Looks like I was right. You're an Uzumaki of the Uzumaki clan. Tozuna grinned as the citizens smiled and cheered. So you know of the Uzumaki clan then? I didn't know that. Naruto was surprised. Yeah, back when they still had a village, we did some trading with Yuzu no Kuni, and a few of the members of the Uzumaki clan built us this temple along with a prophecy attached to it. Tozuna explained. Prophecy? The one who bears the will of the chosen inheritor of Ninshu will bring peace to the world. Tozuna recited. So it was basically designed for Azura's reincarnation, which just so happens to be me. Naruto thought. Looks that way. Azura said. I take it you didn't write this prophecy? No, I wonder who did. We'll think about that later. We should head back to the house. I'm getting hungry, agreed. Naruto and Tazuna walked back to the house with the man sporting a huge smile on his face, probably because he was right about Naruto being an Uzumaki. Opening the door to the house, Tazuna gave Tsunami a peace sign, making her smile grow, and she practically dragged Naruto towards the table, sitting him down and placing his food before him, still smiling. Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke were confused as to what happened. They came back to the house and Tsunami told them that her father needed to see Naruto for something important, and that she couldn't tell them. Waiting at the house for about an hour, the two finally walked in. Kakashi didn't know why, but it felt like the aura around Naruto had changed somewhat. He just couldn't put his finger on it. Where did you two go? Kakashi questioned. Naruto didn't say anything at first, then spoke. Nowhere is important. Just walked around and talked, that's all. You're not going to tell him? Azura questioned. Me and Kakashi-sensei aren't that close. I see. Tsunami came into the kitchen and smiled. So how did your training go? Are you making any progress? Kakashi answered. Sakura has the tree climbing technique down, and Sasuke finally got it after a few tries. He looked over at Naruto. I'm surprised you got it that quickly, Naruto. That's because I already know how to do the tree climbing exercise. I've been able to do it since I was 5. Naruto told him. Sasuke clenched his teacup in anger. I see. Naruto got to eating, wanting to end this conversation because he could sense Sasuke's emotions and thought it best not to speak anymore. He didn't even flinch or stop eating when he heard someone slam their hands on the table. Probably Inari. The blondo's still eating. Why do you all bother anyway? You're just gonna die. Gato's strong. There's no way you can beat him. Inari yelled. Sasuke's patience with this kid was wearing thin, and Sakura was frowning at him. Just what was this kid's problem? Kakashi brought his book out, ignoring the kid, wanting to see how his students would handle the situation. Inari then turned his attention to Naruto, who was still eating, and glared. And you? Just looking at you makes me sick. Why do you even bother training when you can't even see? What can a blind person do anyway? You have no idea what we've suffered, so stop trying to be a hero already. Everyone tensed at what Naruto would do. But to their surprise, he simply stood up, grabbing his dishes, and walked over to the kitchen and washed his dishes before putting them away. He then came back and grabbed his cane before turning towards the Tsunami. Thank you for the food. It was very good. He smiled. Why, you're welcome. Inari was about to tell him off again, but Naruto shut him up. You're weak. The blonde stated to the boy, shutting him up. You're weak. But your grandfather and mother are strong because they've had enough of Gato's reign over this land and want it to end. That's why they're fighting back. They're tired of being afraid. But you're still stuck in your fear and let it control you. Inari couldn't say anything back. If you don't believe in heroes, that's fine. But don't try to sway other people's opinions just because you're scared. We're ninjas, meaning that we're not scared of some coward like Gato who hides behind strong people because he himself is weak, Naruto stated calmly. And by the way, just because I'm blind doesn't mean I'm incapable of doing basic things, like walking, cooking, sleeping, and eating. I can still function like a normal person, still fight like a normal ninja as well, and can move around just fine, as you just saw. He's right. They still didn't understand why that worked, but it was best not to ask. And what have you suffered? Hate to break to you, kid, but ninja have it far worse than you do. We lose everything before we even start to grow into adults. Someone like you who wouldn't know the first thing about suffering has no right to compare himself to anyone. Everyone suffers tragedy in their life, it's not just you. Someone like you knows nothing about us at all, so don't act like you know everything because you don't. If you hate the outside world so much, then lock yourself in your room for all eternity and never come out, and let the brave people who aren't afraid to appreciate what they have in life or stand up for themselves because they've had enough handle everything while you stay and remain a coward until the day you die. Naruto opened the door and walked out, deciding to sleep outside instead of inside the house. Inari had tears streaming down his eyes, but his grandfather Tazuna showed no sympathy towards the boy because he was tired of this behavior for a long time now. He's right, Inari. Your father wasn't afraid to stand up to Gato and called him out on it, and although it got him killed in the end, he still proved that there are people in the world that can stand up to people like Gato. I'm not scared of Gato, and won't let him have his way with this land anymore. Inari said nothing and simply ran upstairs, still crying. Tsunami looked over at her father. Do you think he'll take what you said to heart? Tazuna shrugged. Excuse me. Who are you two talking about? Sakura questioned. Inari's father. He was the first person to stand up to Gato, calling him out on all his bullshit. Gato didn't appreciate that and had him publicly executed and made us all watch, including Inari. Tazuna explained. Sakura was disgusted that Gato could do such a thing. Ever since then, Inari sees the world in black and white. But His father wouldn't want him to think that it's fine to just give up and let people walk all over you. I'm glad Naruto said what I've been trying to say for a while now. Tazuna looked at Kakashi. Now that I think about it, how did he lose his sight anyway? Was he born blind? Kakashi closed his eyes. No, up until he was 5 years old he could see just fine. He lost his sight at 5 years old? Tsunami gasped. How did it happen? Tazuna asked curiously. Sasuke and Sakura were curious to know each other. Kakashi opened his eye and looked away from them. It's best you don't know how. Not until he's ready to tell you himself. Everyone in the room didn't pester him about it anymore, knowing that it probably wasn't very pleasant to talk about. Haku wandered through the woods looking for some herbs, but instead he saw the blonde Zabuza talking about sleeping upright on a tree holding his cane in hand. But that's not all he saw. The blonde was surrounded by plants and 2 birds were perched on his shoulder that Haku couldn't help but feel mesmerized. He walked over and simply stared at the sleeping blonde, fascinated about how he was able to sleep like this and feel completely at ease. Can I help you with something? Naruto spoke, making Haku flinch. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. Haku apologized. It's fine, Naruto yawned as he opened his eyes. I woke up as soon as I sensed I was being watched. I just wanted to see what you'd do. Haku was staring at his eyes. Zabuza-sama was right. He really is blind. I didn't notice it before when I rescued Zabuza-sama, but looking more closely I see that he really can't see, yet he was able to sense my presence. Naruto stretched his arms above his head, making the 2 birds fly up before landing on his shoulder again as he stopped stretching. Am I wrong, or do I feel 2 presences on my shoulders? Haku chuckled. You're not imagining it. There are 2 birds perched on your shoulders. They seem to feel at ease around you, as though you're the sun that shines brightly within the dark. Naruto thought of the mark on his right palm. Azura didn't exactly explain he'd be given the ability to attract birds. He made a mental note to ask for an explanation later. Sun, huh? Naruto did feel the sun's rays on his face. That might have been the second bad thing about being blind. The first was never being able to see Hinata's face, the second was this. Before he went blind he loved looking up at the sky, feeling the sun's rays on his face and watching the blue sky. Now all he sees is pitch black and nothing else. If you don't mind me asking, why were you sleeping out here all by yourself? Haku wondered. I like sleeping outside, Naruto answered. It doesn't happen often, but when it does I take full advantage of it. Why are you out here? Haku showed him his basket. I was looking for some herbs to help my friend. He's not feeling very well. I see. Naruto said. Haku smiled. I'm Haku. What's your name? Naruto Uzumaki. Haku didn't show his surprised face openly, but it was a different story inwardly. He's an Uzumaki? But his hair color's different. It's nice to meet you, Haku smiled. By the way, Naruto-san, do you have someone who's precious to you? Naruto blinked at the question but answered, I do. Several people actually. I keep them very close to my heart because I want to protect them. Haku smiled. Do you have a dream? Dream? Does he have such a thing? He thought about it for a while before answering, my dream is to become someone that protects his loved ones. Haku stood up with a smile on his face then. Don't let go of that dream. He walked away from the blonde. Wait, Haku stopped. You're a boy, aren't you? He deadpanned. Haku couldn't stop his fit of laughter. So he did notice. Haku stepped into Zabuza's room and saw the man was sitting up on the bed. You went to see the kid, huh? Yes, I did. He's very interesting. Zabuza smirked. Told ya. He figured out I was a boy and not a girl even though he couldn't see. Also, he's an Uzumaki. Haku said seriously. Zabuza gave Haku his own serious look. Are you sure about that? He said his full name. Naruto Uzumaki. The hair color may be different, but I can sense he is definitely an Uzumaki. Haku confirmed. Zabuza closed his eyes. Once we've taken out Gato, we'll take the kid with us. His village is too weak to go up against them. Indeed, Naruto was currently guarding Tazuna and using his shadow clone to help with the construction of the bridge. Ever since the whole temple fiasco and proving that he was indeed an Uzumaki, the whole town saw the blonde as a beacon of hope that they longed for. The workers worked their butts off to help and make sure the bridge was finished. Sasuke and Sakura also took turns in guarding Tazuna and his family. While doing that, their thoughts were focused on their blind teammate, and how they truly knew nothing about him at all, or how he became blind in the first place. Naruto didn't try to bond with them in the first place, that's true, but still. Weren't they a team? Before they knew it, a week had passed, and that meant Zabuza would be here soon along with his accomplice. Sakura was charged with protecting Tazuna. Sasuke, Kakashi, and Naruto were charged with taking the offensive. Kakashi will fight Zabuza, while Sasuke and Naruto fight the man's accomplice. All of them were currently at the bridge waiting for the confrontation. Naruto had a feeling that Gato would try to target Tazuna's family, so he had 2 shadow clones guarding the house, one inside to protect Tsunami and Inari while the other one stayed outside the house to guard it. A mist soon came into view covering the bridge, but not completely. Two figures appeared from the mist and everyone was on guard. Kakashi had his Sharingan active while the genin got ready to do their assigned jobs. Zabuza hefted his sword Kubikuribocho over his shoulder. Yo Kakashi, ready for round 2? It won't go as well as last time, Kakashi told him. Zabuza looked over at Haku, who looked at him, giving the boy a silent order. Remember. Try and see if you can persuade the blonde to come with us. If not, paralyze him and we'll take off. Understood. Haku nodded. Kakashi didn't miss the exchange and suddenly got a bad feeling. He remembered that Zabuza had taken an interest in the blonde and didn't like it at all. Naruto eyed the boy with Zabuza, and sure enough, it was the same Hunter-nin from before. So Kakashi was right. The guy was really working for Zabuza after all. He had a feeling he knew the boy too. Be careful, Naruto, Azura warned. I know. Deal with the Uchiha brat and Uzumaki kid, Zabuza ordered Haku, who nodded. Kakashi's blood ran cold. How do you know about Naruto? Heh, did you morons really think you could hide the kid forever? Sooner or later someone was bound to find out about him. Zabuza pointed his blade at the Jounin. Let's make a wager, Kakashi. I've lost interest in the bridge builder. If you lose against me, the Uzumaki kid comes with me. Even if you're no match for them. They've probably already sensed him since he's an Uzumaki. Them? Kakashi questioned. Sasuke and Sakura wondered what was so special about the name Uzumaki, and why was Zabuza so interested in taking Naruto with him. Haku wasted no time in attacking, throwing Senbon needles at the two. Naruto felt them coming and yanked Sasuke away so he wouldn't get hit while making sure he didn't get hit himself. They landed a little further away from everyone else. Don't let your guard down with him. He's dangerous, the blonde warned, putting his sword down, getting ready to use his ninjutsu instead. Using kenjutsu would have no effect on a battle like this one. Let's see how this plays out. Take your own advice, Sasuke said. Haku appeared from the mist. You are Uchiha. I see that there is still one left in the world, and you are the last Uzumaki. Naruto narrowed his eyes. I didn't think anyone knew about us anymore, but I guess some do. Oh, what are you two talking about? Sasuke demanded. It doesn't concern you. I suggest you forfeit Uchiha, while I suggest you come with us peacefully, Uzumaki-san. Haku asked politely. Naruto got in position. Sorry, it sounds tempting, but Konoha has its perks. As if I'd forfeit. Come. Sasuke got into position. I see. Your choice is unfortunate. Haku made a hand sign. Hijitsu, Makio Hyosho, secret technique, demonic mirroring ice crystals. About 20 ice crystal mirrors appeared all around them and Haku disappeared into one. Naruto smelled ice everywhere all around them and decided to take a guess. I smell ice. Is this Hayaton, ice release? What? Sasuke looked at him. This is a Genkai used only by the Yuki clan. Naruto remembered hearing about them from Yamato when they talked about different Genkai and what clans held them. And the Yuki clan held ice release, so you're part of the Yuki clan. Correct, Uzumaki-san. I am the last of my clan just like you two. In my old village Kirigakure, the Mizukage ordered the bloodline purge of all bloodlines. No one was spared, man, woman, child. They were killed. I survived because my mother hid and settled down before giving birth to me. Once I awakened to my bloodline, my father found out, and gathered a mob to kill me and my mother. However, my bloodline killed him and the mob that were trying to kill me, and I fled. That's when I met Zabuza-sama and vowed to stay by his side. Haku explained. I see. Naruto said sadly. Stop talking and fight. Sasuke said impatiently. Is he always like this? Azura frowned at the boy. Damn Uchiha. Kurama growled. Very well. A needle was launched from behind Sasuke, striking him in the leg, making him feel pain in his leg. Naruto, use my sensory jutsu. It should help you in battle. I know you have your enhanced senses, but this is a formidable opponent, Azura told him. Naruto closed his eyes and concentrated. Kanchi no jutsu, sensory jutsu. Closing his eyes, he concentrated where Haku might strike from next. After about 2 minutes, his eyes snapped open as he heard Haku call out his attack. Hijitsu, Sensatsu Susho, secret technique, 1,000 flying water needles of death. 1,000 long needles appeared from each crystal mirror, coming at Naruto and Sasuke quickly. Naruto acted quickly. Rat Dog Tiger, Mokuton, Mokujihiki, Wood Style, Domed Wall Jutsu. A wood dome covered both Naruto and Sasuke, covering them as 1,000 needles attacked the wood dome instead of them. When the assault finally stopped, Haku saw that the needles were stuck in the dome, but it didn't break at all. Impressive, Haku complimented. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief. This defense is really useful. No kidding. Sasuke agreed. How did you know he was going to use it like that? I didn't. I just sensed he was going to use a really big one like the ice mirror technique. Naruto stated. He put the wood dome down and Sasuke took that time to attack. Rat tiger dog ox rabbit tiger, katan, Hosenka no jutsu, fire style, phoenix flower jutsu. Sasuke sent his trademark fireball at the ice pillars in front of him, hoping that it would at least melt one of the ice pillars, but it didn't. What? So they're resistant to fire release techniques then, huh? Naruto observed. Haku sent more needles at them, prompting them both to dodge out of the way. The hunter Nin observed them. I see. You are now both able to read and sense my movements. Naruto looked over at Sasuke and saw it. The Uchiha had finally awakened his Sharingan. Looks like you have your Sharingan active now. Sasuke smirked. Finally his Sharingan was awakened. Now he can follow Haku's movements as well as copy any Naruto might use. Haku sent more needles at the two, both of them just barely getting out of the way. Sasuke was able to because of his Sharingan, and Naruto because he could sense the attacks coming. Sasuke was starting to get used to Haku's movements and made use of another fireball. Snake ram monkey boar horse tiger, katan, Gokaku no jutsu, fire style, fireball jutsu. Sasuke sent a giant fireball at the mirrors, hoping to end the fight then and there. The Uchiha watched as the flames dispersed, and to his surprise the ice still hadn't melted. What? Sasuke couldn't believe it was still there, and he had used up a lot of chakra when using the fireball jutsu. I'm sorry. But I'm afraid you've lost, Haku said from behind the Uchiha air, making him freeze in place. Hijitsu, Sensatsu Susho, secret technique, 1,000 flying water needles of death. Using the same technique as before, he sent 1,000 needles at the Uchiha air, the needles piercing his body as he cried out in pain and soon fell backwards unmoving. Haku stopped his and looked over at Naruto. I did not wish to kill your friend, but he left me with no choice. It's fine, besides you didn't exactly kill Sasuke anyway. You missed hitting anything vital on purpose, didn't you? Naruto said calmly. Haku's eyes widened from beneath the mask. Naruto wasted no time in attacking Rat Rabbit Dog, Futon, Shinkajyoku, Wind Style, Vacuum Bullets. Taking a deep breath, he exhaled several small blasts of wind chakra at the ice mirrors before him. Haku escaped to different mirrors, but it proved to be futile as it hit wherever he was trying to avoid and got him in the arm. He managed to shatter 3 mirrors and injure me as I was moving through them. Is this the power of the Uzumaki clan? Haku thought, holding his arm. Naruto smirked inwardly. Yamato had brought a scroll to him saying that it had a list of wind techniques he had obtained from a long time when he left a certain organization, not liking their methods. Before he made the decision to leave, he snuck into the office of the person he didn't agree with and stole their scroll of wind, taking it with him as he left. The person he stole the scroll from was none other than Danzo Shimura. Yamato told him that the man was dangerous and not to go near him at all. Warning received. If Yamato said the guy was dangerous to be around, then he'd listen to him. I need to end this now though, because I'm getting a bad feeling all of a sudden, Naruto thought while making hand signs. Tiger, ox, dog, rabbit, snake, futon, Daitapa, wind style, great breakthrough. Sending a stream of wind from his mouth, he watched as the rest of the ice mirrors shattered and Haku flew away from the blonde, his mask cracking and falling off his face. When he opened his eyes, he saw the blonde was giving him a concerned look, then smiled. You know, I had a feeling it was you I was fighting. Haku couldn't help but smile at the blonde. How did you know? I sensed your chakra signature, Naruto told him honestly. When we first met, I sensed you had strong chakra and knew that you were no pushover. And now here you are again fighting me and my teammate. Haku smiled, closing his eyes. You're right. Your friend is still alive. Yeah, I kinda figured. Naruto smiled back, helping Haku up. Can you go get my sword for me? We need to get to Zabuza and Kakashi-sensei quickly. I'm getting a bad feeling. Haku knew the boy couldn't see him nod, so he simply took the blonde hand much to his surprise and helped lead him to his sword. Haku, I lost. So it's only fair I help you as I do with Zabuza-sama. Haku smiled. The blonde sighed. Fine. Kakashi and Zabuza were still fighting each other, with the silver-haired Jounin using a kunai to fight against Zabuza's sword. Why are you after Naruto? Kakashi demanded. Humph, I'm not after a kid. Didn't you hear me? They want the kids and will kill anyone who gets in their way, Zabuza stated. If the kid comes with me, we'll be on the move and they won't be able to find him. Naruto's safer in Konoha. Kakashi glared. Do you really think so? Zabuza challenged. I highly doubt even your Hokage can stand up to them. Who are they? Kakashi wanted answers. Dunno, Zabuza shrugged. They don't exactly announce their names out loud, you know. Before Kakashi could attack and demand more answers, they were interrupted by the voice of the last person they never expected to see. Hey, you can't even kill a ninja despite being one yourself? Pathetic Zabuza. Gato appeared along with various thugs behind him who were smirking like a bunch of creeps. Zabuza snarled. Gato. Just what the hell do you think you're doing? Gato smirked. Missing nin are very expensive, so I decided to cut you off. Permanently. Zabuza looked over at Kakashi. What do you want to do? Kakashi still wanted answers from the man, but decided to put it off in favor of paying attention to the current situation. It would seem we need to deal with him. Heh, fine by me. Zabuza grinned. Please allow me to assist you, Zabuza-sama. Haku appeared next to the man as Naruto appeared next to Kakashi. Zabuza grinned at Haku. So you lost, huh? That's a first. Haku smiled. Yes, though I did enjoy myself. I can tell. Kakashi looked over at Naruto and saw he was okay but wondered about Sasuke. Sasuke's fine. He has a lot needles stabbed into him, but he'll live. Haku didn't hit anything vital. He's overcome by Sakura and Tazuna. Kakashi was surprised the boy would go easy on Sasuke and Naruto at all, but was grateful nonetheless. Good. Gato smirked. Should you really be talking to yourselves right now? You realize you stand no chance against these men, right? Naruto made the clone seal. Tajukage Bunshin no Jutsu, multi-shadow clone jutsu. Multiple Naruto clones appeared all around Gato and his thugs, making their jaws drop to the floor. Kakashi was impressed that Naruto could make this many clones. His chakra reserves are just impressive. Well, this will take a lot out of me, but I'll help out as well. Kakashi made multiple shadow clones himself. Zabuza grinned and ran towards them at blinding speeds that no one could comprehend. He passed by all the thugs heading straight for Gato, not letting the man get any chance to escape. Gato could do nothing but stand there in horror as Zabuza was already in front of him and swung his sword down. The businessman's head was sent flying through the air before it fell in the water below. Zabuza grabbed the body and tossed it in the water as well. Humph, trash. Oh! One of the thugs yelled. You just killed our meal ticket. The thug hit his forehead and saw it was an arrow with a rubber tip on it, and looked up seeing all of the citizens of Nami no Kuni glaring at them with Inari leading the citizens. We've had enough you guys terrorizing our town. Get out of here or you'll have to deal with us. Inari got ready to use another arrow, and the citizens got ready to use their weapons in retaliation. The thugs looked at the citizens, then at the ninjas behind them, then at Zabuza. Turning towards each other, they all took off, leaving the town permanently, not wanting to stay another minute. Naruto sighed, feeling they ran away and sent his clones away one by one instead of all at once, because summoning that many clones and dispelling them all at the same time would not be fun. Kakashi did the exact same thing. Sakura was hovering over Sasuke worriedly, and saw him twitch before opening his eyes. Sasuke-kun. She smiled in relief. Sasuke felt pain all around him but wanted to know what happened. I don't know, I couldn't see the battle because of the mist. Sakura told him honestly. But you're amazing, Sasuke-kun. You defeated the mist ninja in the mask, right? Sasuke looked away. No. The one who defeated him was Naruto. Not me. Sakura thought he was joking at first, thinking there's no way Naruto would be able to defeat a strong ninja like that, but the look on Sasuke's face told her otherwise, making her look over at the blonde who was talking to Inari, showing a small smile at the boy. She wondered just how strong he really was. Do you really have to go? Inari almost had tears in his eyes. Yeah, we do, Naruto said. It's been fun, but we really need to get going. Thanks for everything. That's my line, kid. Tazuna smiled. Take care of yourselves on your way home, okay? Tsunami smiled. We will. Kakashi said, let's go. They all walked away from Nami no Kuni, taking Zabuza and Haku with them. The two mist ninja decided to go to Konoha with the group, which confused them. But Naruto didn't seem to mind at all, and Kakashi saw this as an opportunity to get some answers from Zabuza anyway. Tazuna smiled at the group. That boy. He managed to help Inari and restore his faith again. We will forever be in debt to them. It was then that the citizens decided to name the bridge after their hero. The bridge would be named the Great Naruto Bridge, Kanehigakure. To say Izumo and Kotetsu were surprised to see Zabuza Momochi was an understatement, but a smile from Kakashi and a sigh from Naruto told them that it was okay. But they had to wonder how they managed to convince Zabuza of all people to come to Konoha. Zabuza and Haku walked with Team 7 on their way to the Hokage Tower, and saw that some people in the village were sending happy smile at the blonde, but they could tell there were foreigners because the more local villagers were either ignoring him or muttering spiteful words in his direction, but the blonde had a bored look on his face, making Zabuza snicker at the dumbass villagers. Pathetic. The group headed towards the tower and walked up the stairs heading towards the office and saw a man walking with a cane, his right eye covered in white bandages, as was his right arm, walking past them. Naruto felt Kakashi's emotions start turning negative as soon as the man passed by him and was slightly curious. Even though he couldn't see the person, he could feel multiple chakra signatures that felt eerily familiar. He felt the person give him a cold glance, prompting the blonde to give him a side glance, making the man bend over in pain, gripping his arm, and trying to grip his right eye too, but he couldn't do both. He fell to his knees in pain, and two people in white hoods came to get the man and disappeared, confusing the group. What the hell was that all about? Zabuza raised a brow. Haku was also curious. Naruto knew that as soon as he turned his attention to the person, he felt raging emotions coming off from his right eye and right arm that felt way too familiar to be a coincidence. Azura, what just happened? I could have sworn I felt something similar to that. Sharingan. You're not imagining it, Naruto. The man that just passed us has Sharingan on his right arm, and one implanted in his right eye. Azura frowned. What? But where did he dash? His eyes widened. The Uchiha massacre. He took them off from the dead bodies. Sick bastard, so it would seem. Azura said. But why did he convulse in pain though? Naruto wondered. Because you've awakened my soul within you. Indra's ninju responds to mine instantly if it senses I'm near, and the Sharingan has an impulse reaction to respond to me maliciously because of Indra. Azura explained. So that's why he was in pain. You should ask your mentor Yamato about that man. I feel cold and malicious intent coming off of him. Azura didn't like what he was feeling from the man. Just what has happened for the human race to become like this? I plan to, don't worry. Naruto said. Naruto sighed as he watered his plants with the help of his clones. The Hokage wasn't very happy when he found out about how their simple C-rank mission became A-rank, not to mention that the ninjas hired to kill the bridge builder was standing right before him along with his apprentice, but a good word from Naruto made the old man deflate a little. He did place Zabuza on probation for about a week, and Haku was promoted to Chunin and was asked to go see Shida-sensei at the hospital, seeing as how the boy has excellent medical skills. With that done, the Hokage dismissed Sasuke and Sakura, only asking that Kakashi and Naruto stay behind to discuss something important to them. Zabuza told the old man about Haku's Genkai, and the old man promised the man that he would keep it a secret, just like he's been keeping Naruto's Mokuton a secret from the council. The former Miss Ninja was grateful for this and bowed to the old man. He then told the Hokage bluntly that he will help train Naruto with his Kenjutsu skills, much to Kakashi and Hiruzen's surprise, even Naruto. But Haku smiled. Ultimately the decision rested with Naruto. The blonde said he'd be honored to be taught by the man, and told him that his skills with the sword are still novice-based and needed some guidance. Zabuza said when he got through with him his skills won't be novice for long, making Hiruzen and Kakashi sweat drop. They did not need another Zabuza, especially in Naruto. Now here Naruto was watering his plants, trying to calm his nerves down after his little run-in with that person with multiple Sharingans earlier. For some reason he thought of this Danzo guy Yamato-sensei told him about on time, and wondered if that person might have been Danzo Shimura. If he was, then he needed to tell Yamato-sensei what he felt from him. As if hearing his thoughts, the door opened and in came Yamato. He had a spare key to the apartment, and would sometimes enter to take care of the plants while Naruto was either training or out on a mission. Naruto, I heard your mission went from C rank to A rank and that Zabuza Momochi is here. Is that true? Yamato asked frantically. Naruto couldn't help but sigh. Calm down, Yamato-sensei. You'll give yourself high blood pressure if you don't. Yamato couldn't help but fall down to the anime style. Naruto, yes, our C rank became A rank. The client Tazuna lied to us, but everything worked out in the end and we completed our mission. And yes, Zabuza-sensei is here because he wants to help me improve my Kenjutsu skills. Naruto said calmly. I see. Wait, what? Yamato exclaimed. Naruto sighed. Since you're here, there's something I want to ask you. What is it? Danzo Shimura. Naruto said. Yamato's face grew serious. Naruto, has Danzo tried to do anything to you? No, but when we were walking to the Hokage's office I felt the cold stare of someone with a familiar chakra signature, and looked over at the person giving them my full attention. As soon as I turned my head to the person, he made a sound as though he was in pain. Then I sensed two presences that didn't feel like Anbu at all that took the person away. Naruto frowned. Yamato-sensei. I think I ran into Danzo Shimura. What? Yamato yelled. I felt the cold gaze. Is he known for doing that? Naruto wondered. Yamato frowned. Yes, he is. I know you can't see what he looks like, but I'll give you a physical description. His right eye and arm are bandaged up. The blonde narrowed his eyes. Yeah, I ran into the Danzo Shimura all right. He's not injured. In fact, he's fooling everyone. Naruto told him. What do you mean? Naruto closed his eyes then opened them. I mean that he has multiple Sharingans on his right arm and a one implanted in his right eye. Yamato's eyes widened, then his face turned serious. Naruto. Tell me everything. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoy it. If you want the next part of this video, turn on that bell notification. Like, subscribe and comment down below. And also check out the others videos I have created and enjoyed it. See you guys next video.